Gurur Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Saksat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Prayer is
अनन्तकोटि ब्रह्माण्डनायक महाराजाधिराज योगिराज परब्रह्म सच्चिदानन्द भक्तप्रतिपालक शेगावनिवासी समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय।
Soul Satsang is soul's association with the universal truth or reality. Today, humanity is divided by man-made concepts, doctrines, and dogmas in the name of nationality, religion, race, caste, color, gender, lifestyle, and even in the name of science. Soul Satsang is an effort to create a soulful bonding or atmiyata between human beings based on the life's reality lived by different people across the world and learning from the global wisdom. At this point, we are touching only a global family united through samarpan meditation under the video series of This is Samarpan. Eventually, it will cover up more diverse subjects and demography. We hope you will appreciate our humble effort with an open mind and loving heart. Our intention is to enlighten one's soul and heal one's heart by learning from the life experiences of people who prove themselves to be healthy, happy, without losing any peace of mind in the life. Let the wisdom of life spread through our soul satsang.
with the grace of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. It gives us immense joy and gratitude to welcome the Khandekar family on today's Upasana on the Soul Satsang platform. We are blessed to have with us Mr. Manish Khandekar, Mrs. Pallavi Khandekar, and their son Ram Khandekar. Each of them shares a deep and beautiful connection with Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Mr. Manish Khandekar is an IT professional residing in Bay Area, California, USA. His connection with Shri Gajanan Maharaj began in childhood through his grandfather, who introduced him to the sacred Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. Though his devotion blossomed deeply in his late 20s, Manish considers those early impressions as the strongest foundation of his love and faith in Shri Maharaj. Mrs. Pallavi Khandekar is a physical therapist by profession and grew up in Nagpur, India. From a very young age, her grandparents connected her with Shri Gajanan Maharaj. The divine presence of the beautiful Gajanan Maharaj temple in Nagpur played a significant role in shaping her spiritual journey. Their son, Ram Khandekar, who is currently a high school student, is truly very inspiring. He has been learning Indian classical singing for last 10 years and now also learning to play the harmonium. Ram has been connected with Shri Gajanan Maharaj since his childhood and has been fortunate to recite Parayan of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, first in the English language and later in Marathi language. He speaks and writes Marathi fluently, reflecting both his cultural roots and spiritual dedication. We are deeply grateful to Shri Gajanan Maharaj and to the Khandekar family for gracing this platform with their presence. Let me welcome them on the stage with our host, Nobody Benevola Rane, also known as Hitendraji Rana. Over to you, Hitendraji.
Jai Gajanan. Welcome, Manish ji, Pallavi ji, Ram. We are very excited to have you today on Soul Satsang platform to learn about Shri Gajanan Maharaj. He is known all over the world as Bhakta Pratipalak, meaning one who is safeguarding, who is taking care of the well being of his bhaktas or devotees. So, how he does that? In today and tomorrow's session, we are going to learn from the Khandekar family because they are connected with Gajanan Maharaj. And it has been the tradition of Soul Satsang platform to bring different masters, different gurus, and different spiritual teachings on our platform so that our audience can learn about different gurus' teachings and their blessings to mankind. So, without any further ado, I would like to request the Khandekar family to take us all the way to Shegaon, where Gajanan Maharaj is sitting and blessing people from all over the world.
Jai Gajanan.
Jai Gajanan.
जे जे काही ब्रह्मांडात ते ते तुझे रूप सत्य, तुझ्या पुढे नाही खचित कोणाचीही प्रतिष्ठा. तू निरंजन निराकार, तूच अवधूत दिगंबर, साकार रूप सर्वेश्वर, विश्वनाथ तूच की. जे जे काही म्हणावे ते ते तुझे रूप बर्वे, दास गणोस आता पावे, हीच आहे याचना. Jai Gajanan.
Jai Gajanan.
These are some of the OVs from Shri Gajanan Maharaj Prarthana Stotra, written by Shri Dasaganu Maharaj, who also happened to be the writer of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, by virtue of which Gajanan Maharaj has reached to us. I would say this is the most auspicious time for all of the Gajanan Maharaj devotees, and a sincere thank to Soul Satsang for such a beautiful spiritual gathering to connect to Guru Tattva in some form. This particular Upasana session, as we say, Upa means near and Asana means sitting. So these two Upasana sessions are an attempt to connect to our individual Guru Tattva. May it be Swamiji, or may it be Gajanan Maharaj, or may it be some other Gurudev. Just to give the context, last month Shri Swapnilji Ladda and Jai Shritai Ladda, who also happened to be blessed with Shri Gajanan Maharaj's devotion and offer selfless seva to Shri Maharaj's feet in the Bay Area, California. We were contacted, we don't know how, maybe just because of mercy of Sadguru Shri Gajanan Maharaj, to talk about Maharaj. We felt so honored to be chosen by Shri Maharaj to talk about him. As Dasaganu Maharaj says in Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, तुझ्या कृपेची अगाध थोरी पांगळाही चढेगिरी मुका सभे माझ्यारी देई व्याख्यान अस्खलित. What it means is, with your blessings, even a lame person can climb a mountain, or a dumb person can become a great orator. I would say this is the situation for us today. One thing that really caught our attention during our first meeting with Soul Satsang is the word samarpan. Sama is complete, arpan is surrender. So I think this is an opportunity for everyone, including me, to understand what our Guru is trying to tell us. Once we surrender to Guru Tattva, then as we know, what Sadguru does is apana sarke kariti tatkala nahi kala vela taya. We would also like to thank Mrs. Pallavi and Ram Khandekar to join us today in today's satsang or Upasana Seva. Just to begin, when we did Jaya Ghosh of Shri Gajanan Maharaj, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Maharajadhiraja Yogiraja Parabrahma Satchitananda Bhakta Pratipalak Shegaon Nivasi. This definitely gives a great understanding of Shri Gajanan Maharaj or any Guru Tattva. As a matter of fact, we say Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayak. So Shri Maharaj is considered as the king of Ananta Koti Brahmanda. So Guru Tattva does not have any limits or any boundaries. Maharaja Dhiraj, he is the king of all kings. Yogiraj, Shri Gajanan Maharaj came from a yogic background where he did tapascharya for almost 12 years. And he attained all the siddhis. We know about many siddhis, like Ashtasiddhis, or there are more than Ashtasiddhis. So Maharaj, when we read about Maharaj in his Charitra in Gajanan Vijay Grantha, we can definitely understand Maharaj's yogic power and the siddhis that he had attained. Bhakta Pratipalaka, during the 32 years when Shri Gajanan Maharaj was in Shegaon, he helped and protected, as Hitendra said, Bhakta Pratipalak is someone who protects and takes care of the devotees, someone who loves Gajanan Maharaj. So Maharaj is always there for him or her, depending upon the spiritual level of the devotee, may it be from Buddha all the way to Mumukshu. We can definitely see that Sri Maharaj was always there, depending upon the spiritual capacity and individual needs. Right from blessing with family, children, job, and any other materialistic need, Shri Maharaj has also or was also seen blessing devotees with many other things. For example, his lineage, Balabhav Maharaj. Shri Maharaj had blessed him with all the knowledge to be his next lineage. And the last one is Shegaon. It is very clear that Shri Gajanan Maharaj and Shegaon, when anybody hears Shegaon, definitely first thing that comes into mind is Shri Gajanan Maharaj. And in today's world, there is another thing that Shegaon is getting popular about is Shegaon Kachori. Two things that definitely you cannot miss once going to Shegaon. Once you go to Shegaon, we definitely start feeling the presence of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. As we enter Shegaon, everybody says Gajanan Mauli. Even when you enter the Shegaon Samsthan or Shri Gajanan Maharaj temple, you will never be called by anything else other than Mauli. Even when you are in the line or queue to take Shri Maharaj's darshan, all the sevikaris will reference you as Mauli. So what is Mauli? A mother to her own children. She is called as a mom, mother, mata. But when our saints are considered to be Mauli, they are mother to all the children. So they do not differentiate between their children. So their love for everyone is just the same. It is just like rain showering on everyone without making any distinction, or it is just like sun providing light to everyone without any discrimination. So this is the love that our Sadguru showers on all the devotees throughout the spiritual journey, all the way from Baddha to Sadhak to Mumukshu, to reach to the level of Parabrahma Tattva, that is called as Ekarupata. So we can begin today's session or Upasana as we call with Ram Khandekar. He will recite some of the mantras from Upanishads, and then we can continue our journey to Shegaon. We will go all the way back to 1878 when Sri Maharaj was first seen, and then we will continue our journey today.
Very beautifully said, Manish ji. And we can't wait to hear in the beautiful voice of Ram. पधारो मारे घर राम जी, आइए आप गाइए और हमें शेगांव ले जाइए.
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते हरि ओम् ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथामा घृदः कस्य स्विग्वनम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यै स्ववै वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततन्घतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायत्तपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्ण प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीप व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु विघ्नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय गजानन।
You created what a beautiful base with everything, with our Vedantic teaching, as well as the stuti that we always say for Guru Tattva and Ma Saraswati, as well as you ended beautifully with Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. I think that is the characteristic of our Hindu Sanskriti, Sanatan Sanskriti, that may we all grow together, may we remain healthy, may we don't see each other's weaknesses or faults, but we work together as brothers and sisters, as family. And that is the spirit of all this teaching of Gajanan Maharaj and many other gurus. So let's move on the next part. Manish ji, you can take over.
Yeah, sure. Considering I am in IT, I would maybe like to share a disclaimer as we have to sign in any program or anything that we do nowadays. We always have to sign something. So there is a disclaimer that Sri Dasaganu Maharaj has very well said. जे जे काही वदवाल काही तेच लिहिन कागदी पाही स्वतंत्रता मजला नाही मी पोषणा तुमचा असे which means I am just a medium here. I do not have any independence. I totally surrender to you. I am just a pen which is writing and you are the writer. I think same is our situation here.
Right.
Whatever is Sri Maharaj's mercy will flow through us. But if there are any mistakes that you see, we would like to apologize at the feet of Sri Maharaj. And whatever everyone likes is all because of Sri Maharaj's and Guru Tattva's Krupa.
Very true.
As Ketanraji rightly said, Sri Maharaj or any Guru Tattva is always a Bhakta Pratipalaka. Sri Dasaganu Maharaj explains it very well in Shri Gajanan Prarthana Stotra. How is a Guru? What he does is मागितले ते मला द्यावे तैसे लोकांचेही पुरवावे आर्त गुरुवरा मनोभावे जे या स्तोत्र पठतील. So मागितले ते मला द्यावे. Whatever I ask to Dasaganu Maharaj, we will see what Dasaganu Maharaj asked Shri Maharaj. But here we can see how open-minded our saints are and how it definitely aligns with Soul Satsang, its principles and universal consciousness. मागितले ते मला द्यावे, but saints do not stop here. What they do is तैसे लोकांचेही पुरवावे. म्हणजे do not only fulfill my wishes and desires, but fulfill everyone's wishes and desires. So to begin with, I was asked here about my connection to Shri Gajanan Maharaj. As everyone does have his or her own story, how he or she got connected to Shri Maharaj. I would like to take few minutes to share my connection to Shri Maharaj.
Please do so.
So as I mentioned, my grandfather, he used to recite Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. He used to read one chapter, what we call as Adhyay in Marathi, every day. And during my childhood, he would show me pictures about of Shri Gajanan Maharaj, his various chamatkars or leelas that Maharaj did this, that. So as a child, I don't think I was attracted or connected to Sri Maharaj because of the age. But later on, as the life moves on, struggles begin. Definitely, everyone looks for some kind of support. And as Dasaguru Maharaj says, Ishvara वाचून कोणीच सहाय्य करणार नाही. When things are really going well, everyone will be with you. But when things don't go as expected, एका ईश्वरा वाचून, I mean, other than your Guru Tattva, your Lord, no one will come and rescue you. We have seen this as an example in many, many stories. So Guru and Ishwar is always there with you. So after pursuing my master's degree from a reputed college in Nagpur, it was quite a struggle to get a job. So I happened to visit Shegaon with my father, who was for some work in the nearby town. And as we will come to know more about Shegaon Samsthan and temple, there is an area which is called as Parayan Kaksha or Shri Maharaj Samadhi Sthal. That is where Shri Maharaj took his Samadhi. And I did not know much about Shri Maharaj at that time, so I just picked up one book which is called as Shri Gajanan Prarthana Stotra. It is a very small book. And then recited it. But during the recitation, I felt a great connection to Shri Maharaj. And tears started flowing from my eyes. I thought this is quite normal because somebody who is kind of struggling definitely is under that emotional state where this is quite normal. But I think it was an indication of connection to Sri Maharaj. Just within few days after returning from Shegaon, someone referred me to a job, although salary was very less, almost just 1200 rupees at that time. It was great difference between not having a job and having a job.
Yes. Right.
And from there, I think the journey began. I switched over a job to the next job within just 2 months. The salary was doubled to about 3,500 rupees, which was a great jump in today's world.
Yes. 300%.
Correct.
We don't hear that.
Yeah. Most of the time the raise is 2% or 3%. And then within just another year, I got an opportunity to come to United States. So I don't want to calculate how much percentage raise it was between Indian currency and US dollars.
Okay.
But as we say, दासगणू महाराज says, मागितले ते मला द्यावे, तैसे लोकांचेही पुरवावे. But there is one catch here. What he says is, Artha Guruvara जो या स्तोत्र पठति. So he does not fulfill desire of anybody who says it is just nice to have. I already have a car, but I need a better car. Versus I really need a car because I cannot do without a car. So artata is the way that a devotee, I would not consider myself as a bhakta, a devotee calls his Ishwar or Guru. So that artata is the most important thing that Dasaguru Maharaj depicts.
Very, very good.
So journey has been really well. We have a very beautiful temple here in the Bay Area of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. This is the reason why Ram has also been blessed with Shri Gajanan Maharaj.
Very nice.
Fortunately, he is able to write and read Marathi in addition to English. So what I would like to do next is request Ram to give us little bit insight into his connection to Sri Maharaj, because I think he is from the young generation.
Yes.
And being born in US, it will be a great thing to hear from him.
समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय. Jai Gajanan to everybody here at Soul Satsang and also to everybody who's watching our program today. My name is Ram Manish Khandekar. I'm 16 years old. I am a high school student. I'm a sophomore right now in the Bay Area. So I'm at the peak of my academic career. I'm always studying. I'm always trying to learn something new. And today, as my dad said, I'm here to talk a little bit about how Maharaj helps me throughout my daily life and how he's shaped everything I've done till this point. So let's start with my ability to speak Marathi. So actually, I think I speak better Marathi than I speak English.
Yeah, well.
And the reason for that is because during my formative years, during like when I was 1 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old, when I didn't have to go to school or anything like that, my parents would always speak to me in Marathi. A lot of times you see kids in the United States, they're always speaking English as their first language instead of the language that their parents and their grandparents and their extended family speak at home. So instead, what my parents did is that anytime that I would reply to them in English, they'd never talk to me. They'd be like, I don't understand English, so I don't understand Marathi. I'm not able to understand what you're speaking. So then I was forced to reply to them in Marathi, and that's what really deepened my connection with the language. And it's what allowed me to like understand a little bit more of the intricate details of the language, and it's what brought my prowess and my development in the Marathi language.
Interesting, Ram, because mother tongue, as most of the people think, automatically come before even we started developing any other senses. While we were in our mother's womb, we were listening to that language. So that language has the first connection through sound waves. Okay. And then you are brought up in such an environment that it became a sanskara for you through your mom and dad, who wanted to speak to you only Marathi. And that is the right age, because in first earlier years of your life, if you pick up the language, you will never forget. So that is the power of mother tongue. And mother tongue is very, very powerful. You will notice as you grow, when you will be upset in the future, you will speak Marathi first before English. And when you will be excited, you will be speaking probably English or other language. But when you are upset, that is our nature, because that is what who we are inside now. Marathi boy. आमचा माणूस आहे. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
And the reason that I talk about Marathi is because, of course, the Gajanan Vijay Grantha is primarily, or it was written first by Dasiguru Maharaj. It was told by Dasiguru Maharaj to one of his disciples who wrote the actual Grantha. And it was originally done in Marathi. So I say this because I think a lot of us that speak Indian languages will be able to reciprocate with me. They'll be able to say the same thing, is that a lot of the things that we try to express in English, they just don't happen. Like, it only happens in Marathi. All these like deep spiritual connections, all of these like the beauty of the writing inside of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, it can only be conveyed in Marathi. Or for example, in any other religious text, if you see, a lot of the emotions conveyed by any of the characters or anybody inside of that text, it's only best explained in that language instead of in English.
I agree.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I first was exposed to Shri Gajanan Maharaj, I was like, okay, let me try doing a Parayan. And so at that point, I wasn't extremely strong in reading Marathi or writing Marathi. So I started with the English one. And I read the English one, I'd say about 7 or 8 times. I read it for the course of about 2 or 3 years. And after that, as I started to develop more confidence in reading Marathi, in understanding Marathi, and understanding what the actual teachings are inside of that Marathi text, I started to slowly transition to the Marathi text. And when I read the Marathi Gajanan Vijay Grantha by Shri Das Guru Maharaj, I was really able to understand the beauty of the writing and the depth of spiritual content. Obviously, I'm still 16, so I'm not able to understand everything that's inside of the text about Brahma Tattva, about everything about these, but I'm still able to take away from all the important stories that Dasaguru Maharaj has told us and that he's sort of developed to make it like enthralling for the audience.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I want to know, because our audience, young kids, are very curious to know what age did you start learning? Because in first 2 3 years you were trying to chant or learn in English only, and then you moved to Marathi. What age did you start first in English, and what age did you start in Marathi?
I think I was in like second grade when I started reading in English, so that's like 8 years old.
7 8 years.
Then yeah, so when I was in fifth or sixth grade, so like when I was 11, 10, 11, maybe 12 years old, I started to transition to Marathi.
Very
And
beautiful.
yeah, I've never looked back.
I'm very proud of you, and more, I want to say thanks to Manish ji and Pallavi ji to inculcate these values, sanskaras, in Ram, because you are inspiring other parents who are living in USA or other countries outside India to preserve our language, our culture. And I am very strong proponent of the mother tongue. I also promote a lot Gujarati Bhasha, our mother tongue, singing Gujarati songs and bringing Gujarati dramas and artists in our town, so that our culture and our next generation will be able to uh, take advantage of our culture and language.
Yeah,
Anything?
Hitendra I would like to add there that
Please,
our
please.
Sanskriti is starts with our language, and that was
Correct.
one of the reasons we wanted Ram to learn, write, and speak Marathi. And he showed the interest. He did the work. He is the Prasad of Maharaj. We always say that he came in our lives as Prasad from Maharaj. And when he was probably 4 or 5 years old, we got introduced to some like-minded people who used to worship Gajanan Maharaj. It was very small before the temple was even established, and they used to allow kids to sing bhajans or anybody, and that's how he got into singing as well. He was 3 or 4 years old when he would say all the artis by himself. He couldn't read any language by then, but he would recite it all, and then he started singing bhajans. And then Manish ji said, maybe you should learn Hindustani classical music, and all this started with Maharaj as well, with the bhajan. Bhajan was the first thing he sang, and he continues to do that. So I hope he stays humble the way he is now, and with Maharaj's blessings, with Guru Tattva's blessing, he continues his journey. He's going to tell you probably something more, but I did want to take this chance to
This is very beautiful.
congratulate him.
This is very beautiful, and this is needed for all of us to learn as parents too, because many of us take great pride when we see some news about India, our culture, our language, everything. But are we practicing it when we are away from our motherland? Are we using that language? Are we trying to promote that in our day-to-day life? That is the question that we should ask. And here I am saying that Gajanan Maharaj's blessing was not just with mom and dad, but with Ram also. And you guys are so lucky that at least all the devotees in the Bay Area got together and you guys have the temple of Gajanan Maharaj. Because to have a temple, meaning that Gajanan Maharaj is coming to your land where you are living away from him in America, in Bay Area. So this is another blessing. So I would say that faith and devotion, when it becomes a practice, it becomes blessing not just for the family who is showing that devotion, who is practicing that, but also for the people around them, because the Guru Shakti has landed on that place, and we are witnessing that through Ram's comments and his input. I really love that. Thank you, Ram. बेटा आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए. Thank you, Pallavi ji, for your input.
So, just to reiterate, the reason I'm talking about this is because if it wasn't for my learning of Marathi, I probably still would have read the Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha because we were still exposed to Shri Gajanan Maharaj after we came here. That's when my exposure really started to begin. I probably would have read it in English, but I probably would have just stayed in English. So I wouldn't really be able to understand some of the underlying messages that weren't really conveyed in the English language. So I want to talk about maybe just like one or two. I want to talk about just one that's really resonated with me, which is how Maharaj emphasized more on action rather than talking. So as I bet my dad and my mom will talk about a little bit later, in the first adhyay of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, Shri Gajanan Maharaj he uses his actions to explain how food waste is really bad for the world. For example, he says Annam Brahmeti. So Anna He Purna Brahma is something that I say every day before eating any meal. And so examples like these, where Maharaj was sitting outside on an extremely hot day just under the shade of a tree, and he was eating from all these half-eaten plates, all thrown out for animals, and just they're thrown out, all the flies were on them, all these different animals were eating at them, and just so Maharaj would be able to teach all the people of Shegaon in his first appearance, on the day that he actually appeared on 23rd February 1878. On that day, he was really able to teach the public about how important food is to our society, and that if we disregard it, then that'll be a really detrimental effect for the rest of the world. As well as he talks about not being egotistical, being down to earth. For example, in chapter 8 of the Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, there is a so-called saint called Brahmagiri Gosavi. He's like a traveling saint. He's not actually a saint. He's like a fake. He's trying to do this to, sort of gain clout, to gain more of like a following, to make himself feel more important. And he's like in this traveling circus of him and his so-called disciples. And they're just like blind followers of him because of the type of stuff that he talks about in his pravachans. He talks about Nainam Chandanti, which is like an extremely important concept in Hindu Sanskriti.
Gita.
And
It
he,
is from Gita, yeah.
yeah, from Bhagavad Gita. And so he talks about how Brahma Tattva can't be burnt by fire. And so he comes into Shegaon, he causes all this ruckus, he causes all these things to happen. Like, for example, he demands from the people of Shegaon that he is fed Shrikhanda in Puri or Shira in Puri, because he's such an important person that he doesn't deserve anything less. So he says that Brahma Tattva can't be burnt by fire, that we should all, that is something that should all resonate with us. And so Maharaj is watching this, he's witnessing all this, he's watching this pravachan, and Maharaj has his chilim, so it's like a thing of like tobacco, I think, and you have to burn it in order to smoke it. And so a spark from that, Maharaj made sure that a spark from that sits or like lands on the cot that he was sitting on, that Maharaj was sitting on, and that cot started to become engulfed in flames. And so there's these like 5 foot tall flames just completely surrounding Sri Maharaj. And this whole time, Maharaj was completely calm. He knew that he could sustain it, he could do all of this, but he wanted to invite Brahmagiri Gosavi to come sit with him, because he was like, oh, you just said 2 minutes ago that this Brahma Tattva can't be burnt by the fire. So how about you come sit next to me and we'll really test that to see if it's true. And when I first read that in English, I was like, oh, that's a cool story. Like, maybe that's super cool. But then I read it in Marathi a couple years later, and I was like, oh, okay, wait. So this is a lot deeper than I actually thought it was.
I would add 1 minute something on that. That many times there are real gurus like Gajanan Maharaj, and there are fake gurus. So it is like fake dollar bills will exist in the market only when there is a real dollar bill existing in the market. Okay, so there has to be two things always together, and world is always full of fake and real. Why we need this spiritual sadhana, why we need to have this understanding what we are trying to understand here, is satsang is going to help us realize what kind of sadhana we should take in our life. And with this sadhana, it is not about going outside, but it is going inward to realize and understand what is real and what is unreal. And that is all about Gajanan Maharaj's teaching. Okay, Gan Gan Ganat Boten, we are going to learn more about that. But Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nacha Dahati Pavaka, meaning that neither any weapons can destroy it, nor any fire can burn it. Okay, that is the nature of soul. That is the soul consciousness. That is the Brahma Chetna or Atma Chetna. And we are going to learn more in today and tomorrow with Manish ji in depth. But a young boy trying to bring us the story that a other young children can connect with, that is very powerful. And that is the message I want to give to our young generation. Take interest into what your parents are doing, or if your parents are not practicing at home, take interest into the program like Soul Satsang, and try to learn something that will be nourishing to your soul. That is very important. So आइए राम बेटा आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए. But I am very impressed by your input, by your voice, by your singing, your mastery on the language, and also your command on the teachings of Gajanan Maharaj. That is very powerful. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है आपसे बात करके. Continue.
Thank you. So next up, I also want to talk about some life skills. So as a person, uh, I'm not the earliest riser. I'm definitely not a morning person. I'm definitely not somebody who enjoys waking up. Like, even today, it's like 9 a.m. To wake up at 7:30, I was a little bit like, oh, like, I don't want to wake up, or like, let me sleep for 5 more minutes. So I'm definitely not a morning person. I'm also, unfortunately for my parents and especially my mom, I'm not the most punctual of people. Um, I'm, I'm not always on time. I'm always like, maybe like, I always get distracted. I always am doing something else. But through Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, I'm able to learn that even saints such as Shri Gajanan Maharaj, he was always at the places he needed to be before time, like 5, 10 minutes before. And it really resonated with me because Sri Gajanan Maharaj, he has manovig. He can go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, like, just with just his mind. Like, he's able to travel like as fast as he wants, and he's able to go like to whatever corner of the world he wants, whenever he wants. And even though he has this power, even though this siddhi is with him, this power is imbibed in him, it's inside of him, he still decides to be on time. He still decides to get to all these places early. And that's really amazing for me to see, because, you know, I'm not able to do it, but Shri Gajanan Maharaj, who is infinitely like faster than me, infinitely more capable than me, if he is still able to uphold these values, then why shouldn't I? You know, so all of these things are really able to help me in my daily life. They're able to shape the experiences that I've had with not only Maharaj but just with other people in general. They've changed me socially, and they've just and Shri Gajan Vijay Grantha has changed the way that I look at not only teachings in our Hindu Sanskriti and our Sanatan Dharma. Um, it's helped me have a new look on that through experiences and all the chamatkar that Shri Gajanan Maharaj performed in his 32 years at Shegaon. But apart from that, it's also just helped me look at the world from a new perspective. It's helped me understand how like the human race works, how human nature actually is with other people, and how people and why people do the things they do. That's a really important thing that we should be focusing on in our world, is why do people actually do the things? Why do they accomplish the things? Why do they act the way they act? Or why do they go about the things that they go about? And
Very true.
it's definitely helped me in that. And it's just overall helped me to become a better person, a more well-rounded person. And yeah, so I'd like to thank Shri Dasaguru Maharaj for his hagiography, for writing this Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, this beautiful, beautiful piece of writing. Yeah, and I'd also like to thank all of you at Soul Satsang for giving me the opportunity to say a couple words in front of you today. And I'd also like to thank my parents for giving me this opportunity, for raising me right, for giving me the right exposure that I needed to develop my spiritual journey, and to help me understand a little bit more throughout like concrete examples, because of Sri Gajanan Maharaj and all of the things that have been documented throughout his avatar karya in Shegaon. So once again,
Very beautifully said. Very beautifully said. Before I want to add one more thing, that there are young kids in the audience who are watching this. They feel, now I can connect with Ram because he also wake up late. Now I can connect with him. He also is a non-punctual person. So there is always going to be strength and weaknesses in every human being. Neither me nor any guru or master is perfect in everything. And that is why we are human being. If we are perfect, we become God. So we have to understand that. And second thing, with all this imperfection, we are trying to go in the direction of perfection through devotion, through sadhana, through practice, and through the knowledge that is given to us by our ancestors and by the masters like Shri Gajanan Maharaj ji. So वो एक बात हमें याद रखनी है, ये बहुत अच्छी बातें हमें सुनने को मिल रही है राम के द्वारा, और राम के द्वारा ही हम दूसरा भजन भी सुनने वाले हैं. वी आर गोइंग टू लिसन वेरी ब्यूटीफुल भजन about Gajanan Maharaj appearance in Shegaon with Ram. But before that, I would like to invite Manish ji for the next part. Manish ji,
Yeah.
uh, would you like to take us back in Shegaon and continue with the journey of Sri Gajanan Maharaj?
Before we continue our journey to 1878, when Maharaj first appeared in Shegaon, let's start our journey by taking darshan of Sri Gajanan Maharaj. As we already talked about Shegaon, this is where Maharaj is still residing, as we say Shegaon Nivasi. Sri Maharaj was in Shegaon for almost 32 years, from 23rd of February 1878 to 8th of September 1910, when he took what we call Sanjeevani Samadhi at Shegaon. Historically, nothing is known about how Maharaj appeared in Shegaon, his caste, creed, or place of origin. As they say that there is no caste, creed, or place of origin for Brahma Tattva, and Shri Maharaj was also a Parabrahma yogi. We should only appreciate the brilliance and not bother about the origin. So there are many ways that one can reach Shegaon. The easiest way or the most preferred way that people take is by railway or trains. Nowadays, road network has also improved quite a bit in Shegaon. Shegaon Gajanan Maharaj Sansthan is very well known for discipline, cleanliness, and transparency. Pallavi ji will tell more about it later in our Upasana session. But as you enter Shri Gajanan Maharaj temple, you can start feeling presence of Shri Maharaj in the temple. This is similar to a king's kingdom. Once you enter the kingdom, you can start feeling the presence of the king. So there is what is called as a Mahadwar, a very big door made of stones, beautiful carvings. We enter through the door as if people have not visited Shegaon yet, we will have to go through a security check. After that, we start walking into the temple. Once we walk into the temple, there is a beautiful arrangement where you can, I would say, park your shoes, including prapanchik thoughts outside. So, shoe place is not only a place to park your shoes, but also your shoes like thoughts, so that you can enter the divine's kingdom and start experiencing the divinity and the purity of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Depending upon when you visit Shegaon, you could have to wait from 6 hours to 8 hours to 10 hours.
Wow.
If you are lucky, you can get the darshan in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So it is not about how lucky I am to get the darshan of Sri Maharaj in so many minutes. I would rather take it the other way. The more time it takes for me to take darshan of Sri Maharaj, the more time I am spending at Shegaon with Sri Maharaj. If it takes 8 hours for me to take darshan of Sri Maharaj by being in the queue or line, I am with Sri Maharaj at temple for 8 hours. If it takes 3 minutes for me to take the darshan of Sri Maharaj, I am out of the temple in 3 minutes. So if we have to quantitatively even evaluate, the more time I spend with Maharaj, the more connection I can have with him and the divinity. Shegaon temple is extremely well known all over the world for organization, discipline and cleanliness. And we know recently our Honorable President of India, she also visited Shegaon and took darshan of Sri Maharaj's Samadhi.
Wow.
So once we stand in the line or queue to take darshan, depending upon how long the queue is, there are multiple ways and I would say zigzag queues that you have to go through to take the darshan. You enter what we call as Gabhara. During the old times when the temple was built, versus now, there has been quite a vast difference. So you enter the Gabhara. As we start entering the Gabhara, you can start feeling, as we call the vibrations or the pure vibrations of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Most of the devotees in the Gabhara will be doing Jai Jai Ghosh of Shri Maharaj, Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. Once you enter the Gabhara, there is, I would say, an area where you still do not see Maharaj like any other temple. If you visit any other temple, you can see the Lord or the deity right from the outside, right from outside the Gabhara. But here, there is a kind of, I would say, right angle where you are in the line and Maharaj is on your right side in the Gabhara. So there is still a surprise for someone who hasn't visited Shegaon as to what is it that I'm going to expect. And then when you take the right turn, as I said, it is the right turn.
Indicative, symbolic.
So then you see a beautiful, I would say, Murti of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. The Shrungar of Shri Gajanan Maharaj is so beautiful that you do not want to move out of that place even for hours. Unfortunately, due to the rush in the Shegaon Samsthana temple, you will be very politely asked to move on. They will say, Mauli, chala, laukar pude chala. You can bow down to the feet of Shri Maharaj. This is not the place, though, where Maharaj took the Samadhi. This, we can say, is more like a corporate office where you can go and visit and meet Shri Maharaj. Maharaj's Shrungar changes depending upon the time of the day. If you are lucky enough, you can go in the morning around 5:30 when the Kakad begins. Maharaj is dressed in our normal terms like in the night dress, and then Maharaj's Shrungar happens later on during the day. Considering there is no limit to how many times you can visit and take darshan of Sri Maharaj in the Gabhara, we have many times when there is no rush, gone 5 times, 6 times, 7 times to see various stages of Sri Maharaj's Shrungar. And then when Maharaj is fully ready, Maharaj's Roop is very, very immersive and definitely beyond what our eyes can store.
Yes.
So once we take the darshan of Sri Maharaj, we climb some steps, go to the next level, where there is a beautiful temple of Prabhu Ramachandra. We take the darshan of Sri Prabhu Ramachandra, Sita Mai, Lakshmanji, and then we sit there for few minutes. One thing that probably I like the most at the upper level is a very cute and beautiful Murti of Sri Hanumanta. And the bhav on a Sri Hanumanta's face are so nice and immersive and depict how a bhakta. And this Hanumanta Murti is exactly opposite and facing Prabhu Ramachandra. Dasaganu Maharaj has said in Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha is Maruti Ramarupa झाला परी Rama Sannidha nahi basla.
Yeah, right.
If we listen to the Charitra of Sri Hanumanta, Hanumanta himself is equal to Prabhu Ramachandra.
Yeah.
But during his connection or journey with Prabhu Ramachandra, he always remembered his place as a devotee.
Very, very true. Maruti Ramarupa Jala,
परी रामा सन्निध नाही बसला.
meaning that Maruti is the
Yeah.
Lord Hanuman.
But he never
He
sat.
became equivalent to Lord Rama by vibration, by energy, the
Yeah.
soul consciousness that we talk about.
Correct.
But he never sit next to him. He sit
Correct.
under him or in front of him,
Correct.
considering him as the sevak or servant or
Yeah.
devotee of Lord Rama. Very
Correct.
beautiful.
So once we take darshan of Hanumanta in the premises of Shri Gajanan Maharaj temple, most of the devotees will do what is called as a pradakshina, which is more about circling the temple. One thing that I would like to highlight is during hot summer days in Vidarbha region, in Shegaon, it gets really hot and the flooring also is very hot. Shegaon Samsthan makes special arrangements for the devotees for the pradakshina so that their feet do not feel the heat. So, although Maharaj was Bhakta Pratipalak, Shegaon Samsthan is equally Bhakta Pratipalak.
Yeah.
Many places I have seen that they have used special paint on the stairs so that the heat is kind of dissipated
Wow.
and devotees can easily climb the steps even in hot sun.
Very nice. Very nice.
Even when you are waiting for the darshan in the queues, they will provide you with cold water. There may be like coolers and fans for your comfort.
Very beautiful.
So it is not about just Maharaj used to take care of the devotees. It is Shegaon Samsthan has been a role model for many samsthans around the world. So after we complete the pradakshina, we bow down to Sri Maharaj. We visit the most important place in the temple, that is the Samadhi Sthal. When Maharaj took Sanjeevani Samadhi, that is the place we enter. Once we enter through the doors, on the left side, we will see a beautiful murti of Shri Vitthal and Srimati Rakhumai. That is where Shri Maharaj's Samadhi is there. On the right side in the hall, we will see an arrangement made for devotees to sit and do the Parayan of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. Shri Shegaon Samsthan provides Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha in the shelves, so you can pick up any Grantha in any language. You can sit and recite. The beautiful part about it is when you sit, Shri Maharaj's Samadhi is in front of you. So you are always talking to Maharaj, you are connected to Sri Maharaj when you are reciting or reading Sri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. Next to the Vitthal Rakhumai deities is a very huge photograph of Sri Gajanan Maharaj, the one that we see, or similar to the one that we see on our wallpaper or the background, and Sri Maharaj's Paduka. I would say that is the most divine spot in Sri Gajanan Maharaj temple because we can feel the presence of Sri Maharaj there.
Very true.
One thing that one can notice if you have not visited Shegaon, if you happen to visit Shegaon, if you look at this photograph or picture of Shri Maharaj, and as you walk from say left to right, you can feel that Maharaj's eyes are focused on you.
Hmm.
So Maharaj is not looking in one direction, he is always looking at you, looking after you.
Symbol of omnipresence, Ananta
Correct.
Brahman.
And once you take the darshan, you are satisfied with darshan of Shri Maharaj, then you can sit there, do meditation, chanting, or read Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha Gajanan Prarthana Stotra. After you do that, the next step is taking the prasad at Mahaprasadalaya. Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan arranges. Depending upon the time of the year, there can be hundreds to thousands to lakhs of devotees that Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan serves. After the divinity, I think this completes the first round of your Maharaj's darshan.
Yeah. You literally brought us to the Shegaon temple by
Yeah.
describing step by step. I was trying to close my eyes and feel the energy of Sri Gajanan Maharaj temple. And I was imagining, even though I have never visited this place, I was imagining how I am progressing and getting closer to Maharaj's Samadhi Sthan, the Ram Hanuman statue that you were describing, then this portrait of Maharaj and the Paduka. Literally, you feel the energy and blessings of Guru Shakti there.
So now that we are in the current century, let's go back close to 150 years back. This is the place, Shegaon, where Sri Maharaj was first seen by two devotees, Sri Bankatlal Agrawal and Damodar Pant Kulkarni. It was during the time 23rd of February 1878. Although this is more like a winter season in Vidarbha region, during the day it definitely gets hot. There was a lunch program arranged by Sri Devidas Paturkar on the occasion of a religious ceremony after his son's marriage. A lot of people were invited, and after the lunch, whatever leftover food was there on what we call patravai, which are made by leaves stitching to each other. Leaves are stitched to each other, and then those are called as patravais, and those were used during those times. Those were being thrown outside with some leftover food. And there was a yogi sitting outside picking up the food from those patravais which were leftover food. Thousands of people walked on that path, but nobody recognized him as a yogi or a guru. But as we say, in order to recognize a Ratna, definitely we need a Ratna Paraki. Bankatlal Agrawal, by profession, was in the same business, what we call as Sarafi, I mean in the gold, silver, business by profession.
They were called Shroff.
Correct. So, as we say, who else other than Bankatlal Agrawal could have done the Parak of Ratna of Shri Gajanan Maharaj? So, Gajanan Maharaj and Damodar Panta Kulkarni, they were watching actions of this young yogi, and they say he was in his 20s or late 20s at that time. He was wearing a very old worn shirt. He had a handmade chilim, what we call as a pipe in English, although pipe is little different than a chilim, and a tumba, which is bhopala was what we call for drinking water. It is made of dry gourd.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sitting and eating without any complaints. As Dasaganu Maharaj has said, निजानंदी रंगलेला ऐसा योगी पाहिला मौनेचा नमस्कार केला चित्ती संतोष पावनी. After looking at various actions that Shri Maharaj was doing, these two were discussing if Maharaj was really hungry, he would have definitely asked or begged for food, and Devidas Paturkar definitely would have given food because he is a very nice and pious guy. But Sri Maharaj did not do that. He was not an Annarthi, but he was trying to teach us something. So let us watch his actions and see what he needs. Bankatlal Agrawal, although was from very affluent family, his father was a very pious man, and same sanskaras had been transferred to Sri Bankatlal Agrawal. And Bankatlal Agrawal had studied stories from yogis, santa and satpurush. So he was aware of the characteristics that a yogi or santa satpurush can have. The way Dasagunu Maharaj explains about Shri Gajanan Maharaj, तो सतेज कांती मनोहर दंड गर्दन पेदार भव्य छाती दृष्टी स्थिर भ्रुकुटी ठाई झाली असे. A typical characteristic of a yogi, where his drushti is always focused at nasagra, what we say, at the tip of the nose. Danda Gardana Pedara, due to the yogic abilities, Maharaj had a great physical body. Drushti Sthira, his drushti was focused, and Brukiti Thai झाली असे. Bankatlal Agrawal requested Paturkar to get some food for Sri Maharaj. They got the food for Maharaj in a patrava or a plate, what we can say. And due to yogic nature, who is a Parabrahma, Ekarupa yogi, Maharaj mixed all the items together. So somebody who is already immersed in the Brahmarasa, as they say, doesn't need to worry about what is the taste of individual items on the plate. जो ब्रह्मरसा पिऊन तृप्त झाला तो का मागतो गोळ बनाला. Somebody who is immersed in the Brahmaras, he would not or he would care less for any other taste. So that was the characteristic of Shri Maharaj. One more thing that probably I was thinking more deeper into this incidents is Maharaj was eating leftover food. Somebody had already eaten that food and then he was eating from the leftover food. So what do we learn from it? As Ram said, Annam Brahmeti, I mean Anna is Purna Brahma. Although this seems to be accurate at the high level, if we go a little bit deeper as to what Maharaj is trying to tell us, is in our day-to-day life, we are ready to share everything and most of the things with others. We may share our car, we may share our clothes, we may share our laptop, computer, everything,
Mhm.
but we will never share somebody's leftover food. There is still some kind of sukshma ahankar that still persists within us, which tells us this is eaten by somebody else, so I cannot eat it. So if we go to the deepest level of Maharaj's teaching, this is the samarpan. When we say Anna is Purna Brahma, it does not matter if it is eaten by someone else. It is still a Purna Brahma. So this is a great in-depth teaching that one can realize from Maharaj's actions.
And we can also learn that we should respect every grain of the food we have in our plate. We
Right.
should not waste it. We should not let it go.
Yeah.
Because as ultimate self-realization teaches us to go from aham to sarvoham. Without sarvoham, we cannot become shivoham.
Yeah.
So I feel that by giving this live example in front of Bankatlal Agrawal, uh, Maharaj ji, right in the first appearance without word,
Yes.
what we hear is action speak louder than word.
Yeah.
You know, he gave this teaching without saying anything.
Yes.
और वो नम्रता ही उस गुरु की महानता है, सच बोले तो हम कभी कभी मनुष्य के रूप में ऐसे सोचते हैं कि सामने वाले को मेरी इज्जत करनी चाहिए, मुझसे सम्मानित करके बात करनी चाहिए, ये है वो है। यहाँ पे पूरी नम्रता, पूरी एकरूपता, तो वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। ये एक ही यानी कि फिल्मों में देखते हैं ना, इन द मूवीज वी सी द फर्स्ट एंट्री ऑफ ए हीरो और हीरोइन इज वेरी पावरफुल। यहाँ पे गुरु की पहली एंट्री कितनी पावरफुल है देखो। वो देखने वाली बात है, बट द अप्रोच इज डिफरेंट।
I think Maharaj, although we are talking about Sri Maharaj, this applies to any Sadguru who is beyond his deha, as we say, deha sune dehati tatu. Any Sadguru will have these characteristics. So although this Upasana session is about Maharaj, this relates or can be applied to any Sadguru
आई एग्री,
or anybody's Sadguru.
बिकॉज गुरु तत्व एक ही है।
Correct. So once Maharaj had his lunch by mixing all the things together, we know that yogis or any guru who has, I would say, conquered all his Vishaya vasanas, they do not care about the taste. So, but we do definitely care about individual taste. And then Bankat Lal Agrawal saw that there was no water in the gourd that Maharaj had. So Bankat Lal Agrawal said, "तुम्ह्यामध्ये नाही नीर, मर्जी असल्या हा चाकर पाणी द्याया तयार असे. If you would like, we can get some water for you. And Maharaj said, तुम्हा गरज असेल तरी आणून घाला वारी, एक ब्रह्म जगदांतरी होत प्रोत भरले असे. As you said, Maharaj's entry was very powerful. In the first adhyay, first talking or first interaction with Bankatlal Agrawal, Maharaj is telling, तुम्हा गरज असेल जरी तरी आणून घाला वारी, एक ब्रह्म जगदांतरी होत प्रोत भरले. So they went and got water for Shri Maharaj.
If you can explain a little bit about those words in English, because many people would really appreciate that. It's a
Yes.
very powerful statement. मुझे समझा है, लेकिन हमारी audience के लिए.
See, Maharaj was a yogic. He did not need anything else. But as we are, we calculate everything. That after I had dinner or lunch or food, I have to drink water.
सही है.
But Maharaj said, if you need, you can get me water. But the whole world or universe is nothing than Brahma Tattva. एक ब्रह्म जगदांतरी ओत प्रोत भरले असे. So what does it say? Shri Maharaj was always in that what we say Nijananda. We have seen that Bankatlal said when Bankatlal saw Shri Maharaj, Nijanandi Rangalela Aisa Yogi Pahila. Shri Maharaj was in his divine self all the time. So he cared very less about these things or these routines that I have to drink water after I take food. Because he did not see any difference in the world, and he only saw that Ek Brahma Jagadantari. Everywhere it is just Brahma Tattva, nothing else.
Yes.
So this was a very powerful message. And then Shri Maharaj says, after they bring water, व्यावहारिक अवघ्या कथा याना सांगत तो आम्हा तुम्ही, हे अवघे चराचर ब्रह्मे व्याप्त साचार, तेथे गढूळ निर्मळ वासित नीर, हे भेद न राहिले. So by the time they went and got the water, or after they got the water, Maharaj went and drank water from the container that is used to or is made available for cows to drink water. So Maharaj drank water from that area or container which was used for cows to drink water. And then the way Maharaj explains this is, Vyavaharik Avgya Katha, do not tell me all this. Yana Sangat Ammatum, do not tell me these things. हे अवघे चराचर ब्रह्मे व्याप्त साचार, तेथे गढूळ निर्मळ वासित नीर. There is no difference of pure water, impure water, flavored water, nothing. So by listening to these words from Shri Maharaj, Bankatlal Agrawal and the other devotee, they were astonished. They had never ever listened to someone like this before.
क्या बात, बहुत बड़ी बात कह दी.
One thing that also comes as a reference is when Bankatlal was interacting with Maharaj. Shri Maharaj looked at Bankatlal Agrawal, and I think that's when the connection happened between a Sadguru and Satshishya. This is what we usually call as Krupa Drushti.
Yes.
So that is when the connection happened between Shri Maharaj and Bankatlal Agrawal. After listening to Maharaj, they both wanted to bow down to feet of Shri Maharaj, but Shri Maharaj disappeared. As Ram told us, Shri Maharaj had all the siddhis, and one of the siddhis that Shri Maharaj had is Maharaj would go to one place from another with what they called manovik. Nobody saw Maharaj walking slowly. Maharaj would go from one place to another in just by speed of manovik. As we see that our mind is at one place 1 second and the next place in another second.
Yeah.
Same was Shri Maharaj.
It's transmigration. You migrate or move on the another position without even physical appearance of it.
Yes.
And that is how we have heard the stories of many gurus that Krishna was appearing at one place with the gopi and another place with in Dwarika, like that. So this is the siddhi. This is what we are hearing from many gurus.
Yes.
Lahiri Mahashai had similar stories during his lifetime.
Yeah. So now that we all have met Shri Maharaj through the eyes of or through the writings of Sri Dasiguru Maharaj and through eyes of Bankatlal Agrawal
Saying,
and Damodar Panta Kulkarni. This would be a great time to listen to a bhajan from Ram Khandekar. Depicts beautifully the same situation that we just heard about. So I'd request Ram to sing the bhajan Dhanya Dhanyati Magha Saptami. That was the day that Sri Maharaj appeared. Magha Saptami was the tithi and the date was 23rd of February 1878.
धन्य धन्यति माघ सप्तमी धन्य धन्यति माघ सप्तमी दिनमणि 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 उगवला गजानन पुण्यपुरुष प्रगटला गजानन पुण्यपुरुष प्रगटला गजानन पुण्यपुरुष प्रगटला शेगावी हे रूप प्रगटले शेगावी हे रूप प्रगटले ज्ञान दिव्याचे तेज पसरले शेगावी हे रूप प्रगटले ज्ञान दिव्याचे तेज पसरले 18 शेष की तरुण वयाचा 18 शेषकी, तरुण वयाचा योगी अवतरला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला. देवीदास तो द्विज मध्यंदिन, देवीदास तो द्विज मध्यंदिन, ऋतुशांती तनयाची योजुन, सानंदे करी रुचिकर भोजन, पत्रावळी उष्टाते टाकून, निजलीलैने केवळ शोधन, निजलीलैने केवळ शोधन, संत करीत बैसला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला. अवघी पक्वाने कालवली, अवघी पक्वाने कालवली, कृष्ण रूपती मूर्ती शोभले, अवघी पक्वाने कालवली, कृष्ण रूपती मूर्ती शोभली, आवड जरी तन तरी ना उरली, जठराग्नीची तृप्ती केली, कृतीने अवघा वेडा गमला, कृतीने अवघा वेडा गमला, संत जगी ठरला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला. तुंब्यांतरी जल बुडीना दिसले, तुंब्यांतरी जल बुडीना दिसले, तुंब्यांतरी जल बुडीना दिसले, बंकट आणायासी निघाले, बंकट आणायासी निघाले, जलप्राशुनिया हाळामधले, जलप्राशुनिया हाळामधले, योगी अंतरला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला. प्रगट दिनोत्सव होई यास्तव, करीती भाविक गण गण गौरव, प्रगट दिनोत्सव दिनोत्सव होई यास्तव, करीती भाविक गण गण गौरव, भक्तगणांचा अपूर्व मेळा, भक्तगणांचा अपूर्व मेळा, भूवरी की जमला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला गजानन, पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला. समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय. अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक महाराजाधिराज योगिराज Parabrahma Satchidananda Bhakta Pratipalak Shegaon Nivasi Samartha Sadguru Shri Gajanan Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Gajanan.
Wow. गजानन पुण्य पुरुष प्रगटला सत्संगला सोल सत्संगला। आज तो पुण्य पुरुष सोल सत्संग के प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी प्रकट हो गए राम की कृपा से। कितना सुंदर गाया यार, तूने तो एकदम दिल खुश कर दिया। आई एम रियली रियली, ऐसे कह सकते हैं, यू सबमर्ज्ड आवर हार्ट, आवर लव फॉर गुरु तत्व थ्रू योर सॉन्ग। बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा। एक तो डैडी ने इतने सुंदर तरह से समझाया, एंड देन नाउ यू सैंग इट वेरी ब्यूटीफुली। दिस इज व्हाट guru's energy could be experienced. Surprisingly, during the time that Gajanan Maharaj appeared in Shegaon, you said
1878.
1878. Yeah, 1878. So 23rd February, during the same time, this program was also finalized between us and the Khandekar family. That means that energy came in cycle on the earth. अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक, आप ये शब्द को याद रखिए। पूरी सृष्टि पे, पूरे ब्रह्मांड में उस चेतना का अस्तित्व है, उसका अनुभव रिवाइटलाइज होता है, रिजुविनेट होता है उस काल के दरमियान। And that is what happened with us, that Gajanan Maharaj inspired us, Soul Satsang, to connect with you. And our Gurudev, Shri Shiv Kripanand Swamiji, he is for us our own Paramatma. He is for us Gajanan Maharaj of today. He is going to visit Shegaon on my birthday, 31st March. So this coincidence is called Sanyog. And that Sanyog can happen only by the grace of Guru Tattva, by the grace of God. So I want to thank you, Ram, for singing this bhajan and bringing Gajanan Maharaj's blessing on Soul Satsang platform, and through this spreading to all over the world. You don't know what you are doing, but you have become instrumental channel to Gajanan Maharaj to bring his love and blessing to everybody. I'm very, very proud of you. I love you, beta. So, after hearing this, Gajanan Maharaj, his royal entry, I would say, the Chaitanyamay entry, we want to know more about Gajanan Maharaj, his teaching, Shegaon, and who could be a better person for us to tell that story than Pallavi herself. Because Pallavi has experienced this in her childhood. So Pallavi, without any further ado, we would like to invite you to tell more about Gajanan Maharaj and Shegaon.
जय गजानन। अनंतकोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक महाराजाधिराज योगिराज परब्रह्म सच्चिदानंद भक्त प्रतिपालक शेगाव निवासी समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय। जय गजानन एवरीवन।
Jai Gajanan.
I would first always start with this Jai Ghosh. We always did that. I grew up listening to this whenever I went to Shegaon. So I was asked to tell about my experiences. It's very hard to speak because we all get emotional when we talk about our childhood, and especially when we get connected with the Guru Tattva. So, like earlier during my introduction, it was said that my parents introduced me to Santa Shrestha Shri Gajanan Maharaj and the spirituality. So, I was born and raised in Nagpur. Nagpur is comparatively closer to Shegaon than the Paschim Maharashtra. So it's in the Vidarbha area. Vidarbha is one area. So almost everybody in our neighborhood used to go to Shegaon. I had heard that name of the city since a very childhood. My grandparents never went there, but my aunt and uncle used to go, and they would always ask me if I wanted to come with them. And it started like a picnic. Okay, it's a weekend है या एक दिन की छुट्टी है तो चलो शेगांव, कहीं जाना है चलो शेगांव, 2 दिन है चलो शेगांव। और मेरे मम्मी डैडी ने कभी शेगांव जाने से मना नहीं किया। उनको वो आ पाए ना आ पाए, लेकिन मुझे जाने से मना नहीं करते थे। मेरे बुआ जी, फूफा जी, उनके बच्चे और मैं उनके साथ, कभी कभी उनके कोई और रिलेटिव भी आते थे। तो उस समय इतना रास्ता अच्छा नहीं था, तो काफ़ी टाइम लगता था, 7-8 घंटे। वो 7-8 घंटे हम लोग कभी इधर उधर की बातें, कभी भजन, ऐसा करते करते वहाँ जाते थे। भक्त निवास में रुकते थे। यूजुअली सुबह शाम को चले तो सुबह पहुँचते थे, फिर नहा धो के मंदिर जाओ। मंदिर में जाने की एक उत्सुकता होती थी। बाहर कितनी भी धूप हो, कितनी भी गर्मी हो, पर वो जैसे प्रवेश द्वार के बारे में मनीष जी ने कहा, उससे अंदर जाते ही ऐसे गारवा गारवा बोलते हैं मराठी में, वैसे होता था। ऐसे जाते साथ वहाँ पे कुछ एनर्जी है, इसके समझ में नहीं भी आया हो, फिर भी ऐसे लगता था कुछ तो है, कुछ तो अलग है। ये प्रवेश द्वार के अंदर जाने के बाद ही पता चलता था। फिर अंदर जाओ, बाहर जाने के लिए पहले अलग रास्ता था, एकदम छोटी सी बोर्ड कहते हैं वैसे, एकदम छोटा सा नैरो एक पाथ था। वहाँ से जाओ, एक क्षण के लिए वो दर्शन करो और तुरंत निकल जाओ। लेकिन मेरी आंटी जो थी और मेरी बुआ जो थी, वो वहाँ पूरे ग्रंथ का पारायण करती थी, तो उनको 3.5-4 घंटे लगते थे। तो हम सब बच्चे जितने भी बार जा सको, एक द्वार से जाओ, दर्शन करो, दूसरे द्वार से बाहर आओ, कंटिन्यूसली करते थे। तो पता नहीं कितनी प्रदक्षिणा हुई।
क्या बात है, क्या बात
उसमें से शायद वो कनेक्शन बढ़ता गया। शेगांव संस्था की जितनी आगे, इसके बाद में मैं थोड़ा बहुत उनके बारे में बताने ही वाली हूँ, लेकिन वो फीडबैक जो आजकल हम कहते हैं ना, वो फीडबैक का बहुत अच्छा उपयोग करते हैं उन्होंने। वो सब गाभारा की जो एंट्री है उसको सब चेंज किया। जो अभी हमने शेगांव का दर्शन, वर्चुअल दर्शन किया मनीष जी के शब्दों से, वो अब नया है, लेकिन पहले वैसा नहीं था। तो साल में 2-3 कभी 4 बार मेरा उनके साथ, मेरे फैमिली के साथ जाना होता था। लेकिन कभी भी कोई भी और भी पूछे शेगांव चलना है क्या, तो मैं अपने मम्मी पापा से ऑफ कोर्स परमिशन तो लेनी पड़ती थी, पर चली जाती थी जब भी जाने का मौका मिले।
ये सौभाग्य
आगे
है, ये
जी
सौभाग्य है कि बचपन से आपको इस शक्ति के साथ जुड़ने का मौका मिल रहा था। एंड
जी
देयर वाज नो ऑब्जेक्शन फ्रॉम फैमिली, ऑलवेज देयर वाज सपोर्ट। एंड आज के ज़माने में जैसे वर्चुअल टूर में भी हमको 2-3 मिनट ही मिल रहे थे उनके साथ, कि भाई इतनी भीड़ होती है कि बहुत प्यार से वो लोग कहते हैं मौलवी पूरे सर का तो
जी
हमको हमको लग रहा है कि आपको तो कितना बड़ा सौभाग्य मिला कि आप बार बार सर के बगैर घूमते रहते थे, खेलते रहते थे। ये
हाँ,
गजानन महाराज का प्रसाद है आपके
सही
लिए।
बात है। फिर जब थोड़े बड़े हुए तो मैं वो स्तोत्र जो मनीष जी ने कहा था, उन्होंने पहली बार स्तोत्र पढ़ा, तो वो वहाँ जाके पढ़ती थी। वो जो कक्ष है वहाँ पे भी बाकी सब लोग कोई भी लैंग्वेज में ग्रंथ पढ़ते हो, पारायण करते हो, लेकिन वहाँ सब लोगों जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं उनके सामने जाके आए हुए भाविक उनको नमन करते हैं। ऐसी एक वहाँ पे प्रथा है।
प्रथा है, प्रथा
तो
है।
मैं स्तोत्र पढ़ती थी हमेशा। मैंने कभी वहाँ बैठ के पारायण नहीं किया, आज तक नहीं किया। अगली बार ज़रूर करना चाहूँगी, लेकिन पारायण नहीं किया। वो स्तोत्र पढ़ते थे और हम प्रसाद लेके वापस आते थे। फिर आगे मैं जब 15 साल की थी, तब मेरे पेरेंट, हम सब लोग दूसरी घर में मूव हुए। उसके बिल्कुल नज़दीक 1 मिनट चलने के अंतर पे एक गजानन महाराज का मंदिर था। इतना छोटा था वो, बस एक गजानन महाराज की छोटी सी मूर्ति और उसके बाजू में एक हनुमान जी की मूर्ति थी, इतना ही था। और मेरी दादी को वहाँ तक छोड़ना, पैदल ही जाते थे, तो उनको छोड़ना, उनको लेने जाना, ऐसा करने में मैं वहाँ रोज़ जाती थी। और गाड़ी से भी जाते समय, स्कूल जाते समय, कॉलेज जाते समय उस रास्ते से जाना होता था। 1 मिनट रुको, नमन करो, आगे जाओ। फिर कुछ दिनों बाद मुझे ऐसे लगा कि बाहर से क्यों नमन करना, अंदर भी जाना चाहिए। छोटा सा ही मंदिर था, वहाँ पे सब मेरे दादी और उनके फ्रेंड्स बैठते थे। शाम के समय सारे स्तोत्र पठन करना वो उनका नित्य नियम था। फिर मैं भी जाती थी। फिर धीरे धीरे मैंने भी वहाँ भजन सेवा करना शुरू किया। पर उसके बाद मेरा एक नियम था कि रोज़ उस मंदिर में जाओ। जब तक नागपुर में थी तब तक रोज़ जाती थी। आगे फिर बाहर जाने के बाद जब भी नागपुर वापस जाती हूँ तब भी हम वो ही करते हैं, दिन में कभी एक बार उस मंदिर में जाना।
ये
इतना ही
नागपुर
मेरा
प्रॉपर में
कनेक्शन
है?
रहा है गजानन महाराज से बचपन
ये
से।
ये टेम्पल नागपुर प्रॉपर में है?
हाँ, नागपुर प्रॉपर एयरपोर्ट के पास है।
अरे वाह।
और अभी वहाँ पे भी थोड़ा और कंस्ट्रक्शन किया है। गणेश जी की मूर्ति आई है, गजानन महाराज की एक गादी भी उन्होंने बनाई है। उसके ऊपर छोटे राम सीता जी लक्ष्मण जी की भी मूर्ति, थोड़ा सा शेगाव जैसा करने की कोशिश की है। फिर
वेरी
आगे मनीष जी के साथ शादी होने के बाद उनका गजानन महाराज के प्रति जो भाव था वो देख के मेरा और द्विगुणित हो गया। वो किसी भी तरह से महाराज की प्रचिति पूरे जग में उनको फैलानी थी। पहले कैसेट्स, फिर सीडीज के माध्यम से जो भी कोई कांटेक्ट करे उनको वो भेजा करते थे।
अरे वाह।
और फिर उसके बाद मैंने मेरा पहला पारायण किया।
एक मिनट
एक्चुअली
रुकना।
शादी के बाद ही मैंने पहला पूरा ग्रंथ का पारायण किया।
तो ये मनीष जी का स्वभाव रहा है कि गजानन महाराज के बारे में जो कोई भी पूछे, जानना चाहे, अपने पास जो ज्ञान है, अपने पास जो सत्संग का प्रसाद है, वो बांटते रहते हैं।
जी
तो कल इस कार्यक्रम के अंत में, दूसरे भाग के अंत में, वो कुछ सरप्राइज आपके लिए भी देने वाला है। तो हमारे दर्शकों को नम्र निवेदन है, आप कल का अंत तक का प्रोग्राम देखिए। कल आपके लिए एक सरप्राइज है। आपके साथ भी एक प्रसाद रूप गजानन महाराज का प्रसाद आपके घर तक पहुंचेगा, ये गारंटी है। आगे बढ़िए।
जी, धन्यवाद। फिर यहाँ बे एरिया में मूव होने के बाद भी कुछ लोगों से मुलाकात हुई। उनके यहाँ हर महीने में एक मासिक उपासना होती थी, तो उस ग्रुप से जॉइन है और आज उसका इतना बड़ा मंदिर में रूपांतर हुआ है। संस्था में, शेगांव के संस्थान में जैसे सेवेकरी होते हैं जिनको हम वॉलेंटियर्स कहते हैं, वैसे यहाँ भी 300-400 वॉलेंटियर्स की अभी जो प्रकट दिनोत्सव हुआ था उसमें 300-400 वॉलेंटियर्स ने सेल्फलेसली इतने महीनों तक, क्योंकि इतना बड़ा उत्सव करना
बे
है तो
एरिया,
बहुत महीनों से उसमें मेहनत करनी पड़ती है।
ये बे
इतने
एरिया के
लोग
मंदिर की
हैं।
बात कर रहे हो आप?
जी,
बे,
बे एरिया के
क्या
मंदिर
बात,
के बारे
क्या
में।
बात है। 300 to 400 people as volunteers, that is real something in America.
या
ये गजानन महाराज की कृपा से ही हो सकता है, ऐसे नहीं हो
जी
सकता।
जी। हर बार जब उसके बाद में पारायण करते हैं तो हर बार उसमें से कुछ नई सीख ज़रूर मिलती है। अभी तो बहुत सीखना है, पर पहले जो ऐसे लगता था कि ये तो हम कितने बार पढ़ें, आई मीन ये कथा तो हमने पहले भी पढ़ी है। इससे महाराज कितने दिव्य थे, कितने उनकी सब लीलाएं पता है गोष्ठी या कथा के रूप में। लेकिन उसको बार बार पढ़ने से पारायण क्यों करना चाहिए, इसका भी अर्थ मुझे किसी ने समझाया था कि हर बार उसमें से आपको कुछ नई चीज़ ज़रूर मिलेगी। उसमें श्री गजानन विजय ग्रंथ में एक भजन का उल्लेख है, चंदन चावल बेल की पतिया। वो ना बहुत बार पढ़ा था। उसके बाद कभी तो क्लिक हुआ जब मैंने ऑनलाइन सुना कि अरे ये तो वो भजन है जो महाराज को पसंद था, महाराज खुद भी गाते थे। तो फिर मैंने डिसाइड किया कि ये भजन मैं भी तैयार करूँगी और मंदिर में जब मौका मिले तब इसको अपनी तरफ से सेवा रूप में इसको अर्पण करें। हर बार ये गाने को जब मिलता है तो मुझे बहुत आनंद मिलता है, क्योंकि ये मेरी तरफ से एक पुष्प है महाराज के चरणों में।
हमारे
ये
दर्शक
मीराबाई का भजन है।
हमारे दर्शकों को वंचित मत रखना, उनको भी प्रसन्न करना महाराज की तरह। इनमें भी महाराज ही बसे हैं।
जी, मैं ज़रूर कोशिश करूँगी, लेकिन ये कोशिश ही है, हर बार मेरी ये कोशिश ही है। मुझे ये बहुत अच्छा आता है ऐसा कुछ नहीं, लेकिन ये पुष्प है मेरी तरफ से। संत मीराबाई का रचा हुआ ये भजन है। आज मैं इसको आप सबको सुनाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ। जय गजानन।
जय गजानन।
भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ, भोलानाथ है, दिगंबर दुख मेरा हरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। चंदन चावल बेल की पतिया शिव जी के माथे धरो रे, शिव जी के माथे धरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। अगर चंदन का भस्म चढ़ाते, अगर चंदन का भस्म चढ़ाते, शिव जी के पैया पड़ो रे, शिव जी के पैया पड़ो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। नंदी जो पर स्वार भय रामा, नंदी जो पर स्वार भय रामा, मस्त की गंगा धरो रे, मस्त की गंगा धरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। शिव शंकर को तीन नेत्र है, शिव शंकर को तीन नेत्र है, अद्भुत रूप धरो रे, अद्भुत रूप धरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। अर्धांग गौरी पुत्र गजानन, अर्धांग गौरी पुत्र गजानन, चंद्रमा माथे धरो रे, चंद्रमा माथे धरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। आसन डाल सिंहासन बैठे, आसन डाल सिंहासन बैठे, शांति समाधि धरो रे, शांति समाधि धरो रे, भोलानाथ है, भोलानाथ। कंचन थाल कपूर की बाती, कांचन थाल कपूर की शीश धरो रे, चरणों में शीश धरो रे, भोलानाथ है भोलानाथ, भोलानाथ है दिगंबर, दुख मेरा हरो रे, भोलानाथ है भोलानाथ, भोलानाथ है भोलानाथ। समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय। जय गजानन।
जय गजानन। दिल में, दिमाग में चिपक गया, भोलानाथ है भोलानाथ है। तो मीरा ने भी भक्ति की शिव की, और
जी
तो भी गुरु के रूप में ही भोलानाथ मिले।
जी
हम भी परमात्मा की भक्ति की, चाहे उसको कृष्ण के रूप में देखा, शिव के रूप में देखा, विष्णु के रूप में देखा, हमारे जीवन में भी या तो गजानन महाराज के नाम से उस रूप में आए, या तो फिर शिव कृपानंद स्वामी नाम से उस रूप में आए। लेकिन गुरु तत्व एक ब्रह्म चेतना का जीवंत अस्तित्व हमें एहसास कराता है।
जी
जब हम ऐसे गुरु से मिलते हैं, जो हम आगे बात कर चुके राम के साथ फेक गुरु और रियल गुरु की बात है, तो ये जो रियल गुरु जो है, क्योंकि उनकी चेतना अनंत काल, अनंत स्थान पे बसी है। आज इतने सालों के बाद भी जब उनके लिए हम अपनी भक्ति, अपना समर्पण चित्त में रख के शिव का भजन गाते हैं, तो भी उसी चेतना का अनुभव, उसी चेतना का वाइब्रेशन हमारे हृदय में हो रहा है, हमारे
जी
अंग उपंग में हो रहा है।
जी।
तो तब हमें लगता है, एक शब्द यूज किया था, ओत प्रोत,
हम्म।
कि हम भीतर भी और बाहर भी उस चेतना का अनुभव कर रहे हैं वाइब्रेशंस के जरिए। और
जी,
वो
और वो
हमारे
ब्रह्म तत्व के बारे में हम क्या बोले, हमें एक तो अनुभव नहीं अभी तक, मुझे तो नहीं है, लेकिन उसके बारे में नेति नेति कोई कुछ उसके बारे में बोल ही नहीं सकता, वो अनुभव
नहीं,
करने की
वो
चीज है।
डिस्क्राइब नहीं हो सकता, डिस्क्राइब नहीं हो सकता।
डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकते
हाँ,
उसको।
क्योंकि इसीलिए ये जो वेद जो है ना, अपौरुषीय इसलिए कहे गए हैं कि किसी पुरुष ने नहीं लिखे, लेकिन पुरुष ने जो महसूस किया उसको वर्णन करने की कोशिश की, वह चेतना, वह ब्रह्म चेतना है।
जी।
तो बहुत सुंदर।
अभी
लेकिन आपकी
इसमें
आवाज इतनी मीठी है, इतनी प्यारी है, मुझे लगा कि राम को अभी पता चल रहा है कि राम को ये कहाँ से मिल रहा है। आपके जरिए ही मिला
महाराज
है।
की कृपा है। लेकिन मैं एक कहना चाहती हूँ इसमें, दुख मेरा हरो, ऐसी ऐसी कामना की है मीराबाई ने जी भोलानाथ को। तो ये पहले जब मैं गाती थी तब मुझे लगता था ये कौन सा दुख है जो मुझे आज हो रहा है। कब हम दिन में कितने बार सुखों के क्षण आते, कितने ही बार दुखों के क्षण आते, क्या ये दुख है वो? ये दुख नहीं है, ये अज्ञान का दुख है। ज्ञान पूर्ति के लिए जाने का जो, जाने में जो अड़सर है, उस दुख की बात ये यहाँ कर रहे हैं। ये कम से
बिल्कुल।
कम 50-100 बार से ज़्यादा गाने के बाद ये मेरे दिमाग में ये बात आई। लेकिन इसमें ये भी मीरा के प्रभु है गिरिधर, हम तो
हम्म,
सभी जानते हैं वो उनकी कितनी
श्रीधर।
गिरधर, राइट। और गा भजन है भोलानाथ जी का। सो सारे संप्रदाय जो है सब एक है, क्योंकि ब्रह्म तत्व एक है। ये भी इससे वो सिखाने की कोशिश कर रही है। अभी अभी जो राम ने भजन गाया, मनीष जी ने बताया कि महाराज के पहले जो आपने कहा हीरो एंट्री, वो एंट्री पे सब उनको जो थाली मिली थी उसमें उन्होंने सब एक किया, अवघा रंग एक झाला, ऐसा एक संत ने लिखा हुआ मराठी भजन है, अवघा रंग एक झाला, सब एक है, हम सब एक है। और उसी मार्ग पर हम सब अलग अलग पड़ाव पे आज हैं, लेकिन अंतिम गंतव्य सबका एक ही है, आपका, हमारा, सारे श्रोताओं का, सबका।
बिल्कुल सही, और बहुत सादगी में, बहुत सिंपल शब्दों में आपने ये वर्णन किया है भक्ति का और दुख का। ये सच बोले तो मेरे अनुभव से मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ कि ये कई जन्मों की हमारी तपस्या और प्यास की वजह से ही ऐसे कोई जीवंत गुरु हमें मिल पाते हैं जो ब्रह्म चेतना का अनुभव करा सकता है, आत्म जागृति का अनुभव करा सकता है। मेरे जीवन में ऐसे गुरु घर बैठ के गंगा नहला गए। हम कनाडा में रहते थे, तब हमारे गुरुदेव आए, पूरा एक महीना हमारे साथ रहे और आत्म जागृति का स्वाद मिला। इसलिए जो आप कह रहे हो ना कि हर गुरु में, हर रूप में हमें परमात्मा दिखता है। सच बोले तो मुझे गजानन महाराज ऐसे कोई अलग गुरु दिखते ही नहीं हैं। मुझे ओशो रजनीश हो या फिर मेहर बाबा हो, जिनके हमने आगे कार्यक्रम किए, उनमें अलग गुरु दिखते ही नहीं है। मुझे सब में वही चेतना, वही ब्रह्म चेतना दिखती है। और वाइब्रेशन से ये पता चलता है कि मैं चर्च में जाऊं या मस्जिद में जाऊं, मंदिर में जाऊं या गुरु ध्यान स्थली में जाऊं, मुझे वही वाइब्रेशंस महसूस होते हैं। तो तभी पता चलता है। और मैं आज इस मंच से हर गजानन महाराज के भक्तों के लिए प्रार्थना करता हूं कि जो गुरु कृपा में प्रसाद मुझे मिला है, जब हमारे गुरुदेव शेगांव पहुंच रहे हैं तो जीवंत और समाधिस्थ गुरु का एक अनोखा संगम होने जा रहा है। और वह संगम मेरे बर्थडे के दिन 31 मार्च को ही हो रहा है इस साल। तो गजानन महाराज के प्राकट्य दिन पे ये बातें चली कि हम ऐसा कोई कार्यक्रम करें गजानन महाराज के बारे में, और आप हमें मिल गए। और अभी हमारे गुरुदेव उस वक्त पे आ रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जन्म धन्य हो गया, मुझे ऐसे लगता है। सोल सत्संग धन्य हो गया कि ये गुरु शक्तियों को, जीवन समाधि को हम मिला पा रहे हैं और चेतना का प्रसाद सबको मिल रहा है। तो मेरी प्रार्थना है कि हर गजानन महाराज के भक्त को वो प्रसाद मिले और उनको भी आत्म जागृति का फल, चैतन्य का फल, वाइब्रेशंस का अनुभूति का फल, ज्ञान मिले। जो आपने कहा, बहुत सही सटीक कहा कि प्यास जो है वो दुख की नहीं है, दुख है वो संसारिक वस्तुओं का नहीं है। हमें दुख है क्योंकि हमारी आत्मा जन्मों जन्मों से उस परम चैतन्य के स्वाद के लिए, आत्मज्ञान की अनुभूति के लिए तड़प रही है। वही दुख है, बाकी कोई दुख है ही नहीं, संसार का दुख है ही नहीं। और जब वो ज्ञान मिल जाएगा ना आपको, जीवन में मैं यकीन के साथ कह सकता हूँ कोई भी दुख नहीं रहेगा। और दुख आएगा भी तो दुख जैसा महसूस ही नहीं होगा, क्योंकि गुरु की कृपा आपके साथ जुड़ गई है। वो गुरु ही सहन कर लेगा आपके लिए सुख दुख दोनों। और हमारे सुख भी फिर उसके हो जाते हैं। फिर हम कर्म में नहीं बन सकते, फिर हमें अकर्म में ही जीना होता है। ये गुरु की कृपा है। तो वो प्रसाद इस मंच के जरिए, हमारे गुरुदेव की उस 3 दिन की शिविर के जरिए हर गजानन महाराज के भक्त को मिले, ये मेरी प्रार्थना है। आगे
जी
बढ़े।
जी।
बहुत सुंदर। मनीष जी, अभी आप आगे कुछ हमें बताएंगे?
Yeah, definitely.
थैंक यू पल्लवी जी, रियली अप्रिशिएट दैट। बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
As you rightly said, and this is an auspicious time, and I think more important and more reason for happiness is this is happening during the time of your upcoming birthday. So I think this is a very special gift that Gurudev has offered you. As Dasiganu Maharaj rightly says, Titvi Chane Sagara Shosha Velaka Sachara. Titvi is a very, very small, tiny bird in India.
हम्म,
I think it is called as red wing. Some. Well,
हम्म,
let me see what that bird name is. It is called as red wattled lapwing. It is
हम्म,
titvi that actually makes some noise during the evening times in India. You must have heard about it. So Dasaganu Maharaj says, Titavi chane sagara shoshavilaka sacha. So if that small bird tries to drink the water from the whole ocean, is it really possible? Absolutely not. So the opportunity or the honor that Soul Satsang has showered on us is similar to that. I do not think that anybody can get a bigger honor than talking about his or her Guru or Gurudev. So we talked about Guru, fake Gurus, real Gurus. So there is a major difference between a real Guru, which we usually refer as Satguru. There could be multiple Gurus like music teacher, school teachers, dance teachers. Those are usually referred as Gurus. But as you said, somebody who gives us the taste of Atmajnan is called as Satguru. Because Atmajnan is the Satchit Ananda. So whoever has the ability or capacity and has a willingness to shower that to the Shishya, as they define Shrotriya, Brahmanishta and Dayalu. So these are the three qualities of Sadguru. So he should be aware and has studied all the Shastras so that he can answer any questions that come from a Jidnyasu Bhakta. He should be Brahmanishta, that means he should have experienced the Brahma Tattva himself. Without that, he does not have authority to talk about it. Thirdly, he should be willing to share that happiness with the other devotees. So as you rightly said, Swamiji is the Sadguru. He is Shrotriya, Brahmanishta, but more importantly, Dayalu, to shower that on all the devotees of Soul Satsang. So I would definitely like to do Vandan at the feet of Swamiji. We are very fortunate to have Sadguru. Without presence of Sadguru, definitely we cannot travel the spiritual path. Not only that, as you said, many problems in our materialistic life or daily life, we cannot solve any of them. But this is not the end. As Pallavi said, Dukha Mera Haro. Mirabai was, I would say, an epitome of Bhakta and Bhakti.
Same.
The only Dukha that Bhakta has is the separation from the divine. That is the only complaint that any Bhakta would have. If we look at Hanumantaji, there was a very divine Shishya of Shri Ramadas Swami called Kalyan Swami, or even matter of fact Arjuna and Krishna. So there is always a pair of Bhagavanta and Bhakta. So the only, I would say, complaint that the devotees have is the separation from the Lord. So Dukha Mera Har. So similar to that, now that we have learned about, we are currently in say 1878 in the arena of in the time of Bankatlal Agrawal. We have seen how Maharaj appeared in Shegaon. We have already taken darshan of Shri Maharaj. But one thing that we cannot forget is Maharaj has reached to us by way of three pillars. First pillar is Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan, who has taken utmost care to make sure that we can go and take darshan of Shri Maharaj's Samadhi and be blessed by his blessings. Secondly, the Ratna Parakhi, as we saw, Bankatlal Agrawal. As we have seen thousands of people pass that path, but unless it was Bankatlal Agrawal who was the Ratna Parakhi who identified that Ratna of Shegaon, Shri Maharaj would not have been known to us. Third and most important pillar is Shri Dasagunu Maharaj. Dasagunu Maharaj was, as Ram said, hagiographer, the person who writes about biographies of saint. He was the one who wrote Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, Shri Gajanan Maharaj Prarthana Stotra, Shri Gajanan Maharaj Arti, and by way of his writings, he has made it possible that Shri Maharaj reaches us. So let's maybe know more about Shri Dasaguna Maharaj. So the reason why we wanted to learn more about Shri Dasaguna Maharaj is, as we say, we have to connect the dots. So why was Shri Dasaguna Maharaj chosen for such an epic writing of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha? Definitely, as we know, that unless you have what we call adhikar, or the authority to write, Maharaj would not have chosen Shri Dasaguna Maharaj for writing his charitra. So Dasaganu Maharaj was born in 1887 in Nagar Jilla. His name Ganesh Dattatreya Sahasrabuddhi. Dasaganu Maharaj had an interesting childhood when he was not at all interested in academics. He did not even go to school until he was 7 or 8 years old. But right from his childhood, he had what we call as pratibha, or an ability to write poetry. He took a job in police department which was against his family's wish, because at that time this job was not considered as a prestigious job. But Dasaganu Maharaj was very firm, and he started his job in the police department for 9 rupees per month. After for first 8 to 9 months he continued on that salary, and then after that about for 11 years he served in the police department. The reason why I wanted to tell all these things is what we know as Dasaguru Maharaj by writing of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha versus his previous life before one meets Sadguru. So there could be a very vast difference between a devotee's life before he or she meets a Sadguru. So Dasaguru Maharaj was a devotee of Lord Shankar, and then he took Anugraha from Vaman Rao Islampurkar. That was his Sadguru. And after he took the Diksha from Vamanrao Islampurkar, his name was Dasaguru. So his Sadguru said to do a Pandharpur Yatra every year, and he followed that for a very long time. Dasguru Maharaj was a poet, I would say kind of a born poet. He had pratibha of writing poets. He wrote lots of poems and even what we call natak or plays. After his Sadguru was not in the bodily form, he connected Dasaguru Maharaj to Sri Sai Baba. And Sai Baba would consider Gajanan Maharaj as his brother. So Sai Baba probably knew the purpose of life of Sri Dasaguru Maharaj, and he insisted Dasaguru Maharaj to quit the job in the police department. But Dasaguru Maharaj was very reluctant to quit a nice job. So there were some incidences that happened which forced Dasaguru Maharaj to quit the job. I would consider those as Leela of Guru. I think Guru knows what is the best for us. Although we do not want to listen to the Guru Ajna, definitely Sai Baba knew the karya that Dasaguru Maharaj has to do, and that is not possible in the job. So Sai Baba said to Dasaguru Maharaj, कुणाचे बूट पुसण्यास आपण जन्माला आलो काय? म्हणजे are we here to wipe somebody's shoes? That was how Sai Baba told Dasaguru Maharaj. Very strong message from Sai Baba. Dasaguru Maharaj finally quit the job.
I would say that for the audience who don't know much about that period, I want to add little context for them to understand that during the time India was under the Britishers' rule,
Yeah.
and by working for the police department, you are serving those who are not ruling in India
Yeah.
for the benefit of Indians, but against them. So that is what he meant, that are you here to serve those who want you to wipe their shoes and
Correct.
polish their shoes? By serving them, you are not serving the
Nation.
people of your homeland. That is what he meant. देश भक्ति के ऊपर ये है.
Definitely.
Very deep indication. Just to add it. Sorry to disturb you on that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think saints are against the nation, rather saints are with the nation. During the time when India was not independent, we can see many saints have taken birth, like Sai Baba, Gajanan Maharaj, even Shri Gulab Rao Maharaj was during the time, at the same time. So definitely they are always with the nation.
Yes.
There is one, I would say, not funny, but an incident which definitely teaches a lot. Dasaguru Maharaj used to do a lot of kirtan seva around, and with his previous background, he would wear a very nice dhoti, what we called as angarkha, and an uparna, what we take from here, and then do the kirtan seva. After meeting Sai Baba, Dasaguru Maharaj was planning to go for a Kirtan Seva at one of the temples. And Sai Baba asked, "Where are you going, Dasaguru?" Dasaguru Maharaj replied, "I am going for a Kirtan Seva." Sai Baba said, "Then why are you dressed like a groom?" Right?
हीरो बन के जा रहे हो.
Correct. So Sai Baba's message is, अरे परमार्थासाठी कीर्तन ना, संसारात अलिप्त राहावे हे सांगणारे तुम्ही, मग हा थाटमाट कशा? That means the message that you are going to convey is, you have to be detached from the worldly possessions and this samsara, and you yourselves are dressed like one. As they say, बोले तैसा चाले, त्याची वंदावी पावले. After that message, Dasagunu Maharaj took up all those, what we say, extra things, and with minimum items for the Kirtan Seva, whole life
क्या बात.
he did Kirtan in that posha, with only one dhotar and one uparna, that's about it. He once did a Kirtan at one of the king's place, even in the same poshak, he did Kirtan Seva. So he never worried that I have to do Kirtan Seva at this king's place, so I should be dressed appropriately for according to king. Whatever Sadguru Ajna was given, followed all the way till end. One more thing that definitely gives us lot of insights into character of Dasaganu Maharaj is, after his Sadguru Vaman Rao Islampurkar was not alive, he left all his property in the name of Dasaganu Maharaj by making a will.
क्या बात है.
But Dasaganu Maharaj was so selfless that he gave all the property back to Guru Patni or Guru Mata, and he only took the Vithala Murti from the
क्या बात.
Gurudev. So Dasaganu Maharaj was a selfless devotee.
सही.
He was given lots of mandhan, what we call, after Kirtan Seva. We give some kind of envelope or some money or something up to the Kirtankar. Dasaganu Maharaj never took mandhan for any Kirtan Seva that he did throughout his life. What he believed is, Kirtan is a path for Ishvara Seva. So he does not have right to take any money for the Seva. As he said, जे जे तुम्ही वदवाला काही तेच लिहिणं कागदी पाय. So he was, I would say, a greatest example of what we talked about, samarpan. I do not have any right to take any money of to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha because I am not writing it. So if I am not writing it, how can I take money for the thing that I am not doing? So what Dasaganu Maharaj has asked throughout his life can be very easily seen by the ovis that he has written. In the Shri Gajanan Maharaj Prarthana Stotra, at the end he says, सर्वदा सांभाळ माझा करा, दैन्य दुःखाते निवारा, भेटवा मशी शारंग धरा, सर्वदा सांभाळ माझा करा. Always protect myself. दैन्य दुःखाते nivara. As a bhakta, we already know what kind of dukkha that a bhakta goes through. Bhetava mashi sharang dhara. This is more about Atmadhyan. Bhetava mashi sharang dhara. And next he says, आपल्या कृपे करून सानंद राहो सदा मन, सर्वदा घडो हरिस्मरण, तैसीच संगत सज्जनाची. I do not ask for anything else other than with your mercy I should be always happy. Sarvada ghado harismarana. I should always be involved in harismarana. Hari is somebody who is harati. Somebody who harati is a hari. Smarana. So I should never forget the divine. Taisita Sangata Sajjanansi. At the end he asks for Anta Ghado Godathiri. How should my end be? Is Anta Ghado Godathiri. त्याहून आशा नाही दुसरी, स्मृती राहो जागृत खरी, भजन हरीचे कराय. Till the end, my memory should be sharp so that I can do the bhajan or of divine. He has not asked for anything else. We have already seen मागितले ते मला द्यावे, तैसे लोकांचेही करावे. So this is where I would say Dasaganu Maharaj shines in what he asks.
Yeah.
And this could be the reason why he was chosen to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha.
Very true. Very true.
There was a time when Sai Baba had requested Dasagunu Maharaj to travel from one place to another. And on the way, he saw a lot of people gathered around at a place, and he asked the person who was riding the bullock cart that why there are so many people gathered around. And this place was near Shegaon. So the bullock cart rider or the person who was navigating the bullock cart, he said that, oh, you don't know? This is because Shri Gajanan Maharaj is sitting there and everybody wants to take darshan of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. This was sometime in the month of May 1907 when Gajanan Maharaj was still in Shegaon. Gajanan Maharaj took Samadhi in 1910. So this was the first and only darshan that Das Guru Maharaj had of Shri Gajanan Maharaj.
Oh.
So Gajanan Maharaj was sitting there and Das Guru Maharaj took his darshan and then he moved on. This is what is referenced in the first chapter of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. जो प्रथमताच पाहिला, आकोटा सन्निध संत बला, तोच मागे राहिला, त्याचे एका कारण. Surprisingly, Gajanan Vijay Grantha was published in 1939.
Okay.
Almost 32 years after the first meeting or the only meeting of Shri Gajanan Maharaj and Dasaguru Maharaj. We are very fortunate that during the time that we are having this Upasana session, Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha was being written at Shegaon during this time.
Yeah.
Shri Dasagunu Maharaj was writing Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha one chapter per day during the daytime, and then he would recite the Gajanan Vijay Grantha, or somebody would read it for all the devotees, and same thing would happen the next day. So within 21 days, the Gajanan Vijay Grantha was completed on 23rd of March. So as Hitendraji said, this is, I would say, a collective effort of the divine spirits in the most auspicious time when Swamiji is planning to visit Shegaon.
Yeah.
So now that we have heard about Dasaguru Maharaj and so-called his qualifications to write Gajanan Vijay Grantha, and we already know about Gajanan Maharaj. He was a yogi, Parabrahma Swarupa Sadguru. So Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan wanted to write something about Shri Gajanan Maharaj, and they wanted to write in the OV form. So they went to a person called as Hari Bhakta Parayan Lakshman Ramachandra Pangarkar. So Pangarkar was another great writer, but he was not writing in the OV form, what we called as Padya. He used to write in the Gadya form. So what he said that I cannot do this for you, but you can definitely contact Dasaganu Maharaj, and he would be able to write it for you. Dasaganu Maharaj was considered as Mahipati for that time. So Mahipati was a great poet in the times of 1700, and Dasaganu was considered equivalent to Mahipati. He was a very Pratibhavan Kavi, as we have already seen. So Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan management at that time went to Pandharpur, met Shri Dasaganu Maharaj, and Dasaganu Maharaj happily agreed to do the seva of writing Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. Then Patil, who were the management of Shri Gajanan Maharaj Patil family, they asked, how much money would you charge to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha? Dasaganu Maharaj replied, saying that I will not write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. Then they asked that why are you not going to write? You just said you will write it. Dasaguru Maharaj said, Patil, whom am I the one to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha? It is the Lord or Panduranga who is giving me the prerana to write it. He is the one who arranges all the words together and automatically is written. So that is why I cannot charge any money from. So Patil family and all the management agreed. Only thing Dasaganu Maharaj requested is expense as a railway ticket to travel to Shegaon. As we already know, Dasaganu Maharaj never collected any money, never took any money. So this was the only reason that he requested to make arrangements for the railway ticket. When Dasagunu Maharaj arrived in Shegaon to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, and Dasagunu Maharaj was very famous during that time as a great poet, lot of people came to welcome Shri Dasagunu Maharaj at Shegaon railway station. Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan Shegaon and all the devotees had a wish to welcome Dasaguru Maharaj in a very grand ceremony. But Dasaguru Maharaj refused to do any of that. He said that I am a very, very common man. I will walk to Shri Gajanan Maharaj temple. So they walked to Shri Gajanan Maharaj temple. Dasaguru Maharaj took the darshan of Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samadhi and then reviewed all the paperwork and all the situations and other things that had happened at Shegaon during Shri Maharaj was there. And then he made sure that whatever is written is truth. He said, if it is not true, I will not write anything that is not true. The next day, this is where I think the divinity begins to shine. Dasagunu Maharaj next day, before starting to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, he went to take darshan of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. He did a part of Vishnu Sahasranam and he took darshan of Shri Gajanan Maharaj and his Ashta Satvika Bhav. As we say, he lost track of himself. His eyes were filled with tears and he started doing stuti, what we say, is just explaining about Shri Gajanan Maharaj. And he wrote Sateja Dusara Ravi Hari Samana Jate Bala Vasishta Samasarvada Tadiya Chitta Tenyam Ase Asuniya Khare Vari Vari Pisa Bhasato Taya Guru Gajanana Pati Sada Ganu Vandita. So these OVs came out of his mouth. This is more about Sateja Dusara Ravi. This is another son. Hari Samana Yache Bala Vasishta Samasarvada Tadiya Chitta Tenyam Ase Asunya Khare. In spite of that, Vari Vari Pisa Bhasata. On outside, he feels or looks like a madman. Pisa Bhasata. Taya Guru Gajanana Ganu Sada. So they wrote, Dasaguru Maharaj wrote 21 chapters in 21 days. After writing Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha, Dasaguru Maharaj devoted the writing to Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan. As we have heard, he did not take any mandhan or any money from Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan. Only thing that he asked for is one coconut, what we call Shrifal, and one handkerchief. And that handkerchief which was given to him, he requested to wash the handkerchief, touch it to the Samadhi of Shri Gajanan Maharaj, and then give it back to him. That's about it. And then he gave all the copyrights of Gajanan Vijay Grantha to Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan. So definitely we can see, because of qualities of Dasaguru Maharaj, his selfless service, he was, I would say, chosen to write Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. So definitely I would like to do Vandan to Shri Gajanan Maharaj and Shegaon Sansthan and Bankatla. So these are the three pillars of Shri Gajanan Maharaj Upasana.
Very powerful.
So maybe now I can request Pallavi ji to tell little bit more about Shegaon Sansthan and the activities. But before that, maybe just a quick highlight of, because now that we know about Gajanan Maharaj, most of the devotees would have questioned that how do I worship Shri Gajanan Maharaj on a daily basis?
Mm.
So it's a very, very simplified, I would say, Upasana. Most of the we will cover more details in second session, but just
Mhm.
on a high level. The primary Upasana sadhana is Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. As Pallavi ji mentioned, we do Parayan. So Parayan is reading 21 chapters of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. These can be done either in one day, it can be done 3 adhyay in 7 days, it can be done in 7 adhyayas in 3 days, or it can be done 1 adhyay per day for 21 days and then again begin the next Parayan. Another Upasana that many devotees do is Shri Gajanan Prarthana Stotra recitation. It is more like concise version of Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha. And Maharaj always used to say Gan Gan Ganat Boten, so that is another Namajap. That is, Gajanan Maharaj was a yogi, Parabrahma, Swarupa, Sadguru. So, and he did not like any what we call avdambar. I want flowers, I want agarbattis, I want dhoop, deep, all those things. As Dasaganu Maharaj says, Bhava Bhakti, that's the only thing that Sri Maharaj wants. So you have to be connected, surrendered to Sri Maharaj, is what he explained.
I want to add little comments about what we learn. The three pillars of Gajanan Maharaj legacy, I would say, of Guru Tattva. Because imagine how these people become instrumental. Barkatlal Agrawal, Dasganu Maharaj, if he does not write today, we will not have anything. And Shegaon Sansthan, who have preserved this Samadhi Sthan and temple with the integrity of Chaitanya, the energy that Gajanan Maharaj has left. To be honest, not just while we are recording this session, but from the time I am hearing about Gajanan Maharaj, I am experiencing the live consciousness as if I am sitting in front of our living Guru, Sri Shivkrupanand Swamiji, and listening to his discourse. It proves, and all our entire team of Soul Satsang has been witness, that Gajanan Maharaj probably is not physically present today on the earth. His grace, his Brahma Chetna, his Guru Chetna is alive through this program, and throughout the time we just need that samarpan bhav, as Manish ji has said. You may do the Parayan, you may chant the stotra as Pallavi ji was doing before, or you may even sing bhajan that you know or you like with the devotion to Gajanan Maharaj, and you will be able to experience that blessing of Guru Chetna, Brahma Chetna in your life wherever you are. Chances are, if your state in spirituality is not awakened, आपके पास वो आत्म जागृति का अनुभव नहीं है, तो शायद आपको फील नहीं होगा वो वाइब्रेशन, बट आपकी आत्मा वो पा रही है, इसका विश्वास रखो, मैं आपको कहता हूँ. दिस इज ऑल आई एम टेलिंग यू. Pallavi ji was very humble that she did not have that kind of experience yet. बट मेरी प्रार्थना है इस कार्यक्रम के जरिए और हमारे गुरुदेव की शिविर के जरिए गजानन महाराज के सभी भक्तों को वो प्रसाद मिले जो गजानन महाराज इस कार्यक्रम के सुमेल से देना चाहते हैं। तो आप ज़रूर इसका फ़ायदा लीजिए और आप ज़रूर जाना उस जगह पर जिसे आप कॉटन मार्केट कहते हैं, गजानन दादा पाटिल मार्केट यार्ड। वहाँ पे गुरुदेव का प्रोग्राम होने वाला है, निशुल्क है। 31 मार्च से 2 अप्रैल तक होगा और गुरु तत्व एक आहे इसका प्रूफ आपको वहाँ पर मिल जाएगा। ये गजानन महाराज है, हमारे गुरुदेव है बैठे। और सायंकाली 6 वाजता शाम को 6 बजे आपको ये प्रोग्राम हर रोज़ 3 दिन के लिए मिलेगा। जैसे हमने मनीष जी से जाना कि पारायण में आप 21 दिन हर रोज़ एक एक पारायण कर सकते हो, या तो फिर आप साथ साथ करके 3 दिन में ख़त्म कर सकते हो। तो एक बात मान लो कि यहाँ पे 3 दिन के पारायण में आपको कुछ प्रसाद मिलने वाला है। तो अब मैं पल्लवी जी को निवेदन करता हूँ कि आप आइए और हमें और उस गजानन महाराज की संस्था के बारे में, शेगांव के बारे में बताइए, ताकि हमें गजानन महाराज की संस्था के द्वारा भी कैसे लाभ मिल सकता है, उसका प्रसाद मिले, उसकी जानकारी मिले, माहिती मिले।
शेगांव के इस संस्थान के बारे में मैं थोड़ी आपको माहिती देने वाली हूँ। मनीष जी अगर उसमें कुछ और ऐड करना चाहे तो ज़रूर करिए, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा कार्य है इस संस्था का। शेगांव ये नाम आज हम जानते हैं, उसको पहले शायद शिवगांव कहते थे। उसका अपभ्रंश होकर अभी शेगांव ये नाम प्रचलित है। ये 550 किलोमीटर मुंबई से, और मुंबई नागपुर रेलवे लाइन से अगर देखा जाए तो, और नागपुर से तकरीबन 350 किलोमीटर पर ये है। संस्थान यहाँ पे 1907 साल मार्च महीने में ही, जैसे सदगुरु के सच्शिष्य होते हैं, ऐसे भास्कर पाटिल करके उनके सच्शिष्य थे। उन्होंने महाराज थे, तभी महाराज थे, लेकिन उनके अपरोक्ष बाकी सब लोगों को एकत्रित किया और उनसे निवेदन किया कि हम सबको मिलके एक ऐसी अद्भुत जगह बनानी चाहिए, मंदिर या मठ उसको कह सकते हैं, ऐसा बनाएंगे जिससे हमारे गुरु की जो महिमा है वो लोगों तक पहुंच पाएगी। उनके वो मन में था। 1907 साल की मार्च महीने की बात है। उसके बाद 1908 साल में इस संस्था की स्थापना हुई, तब भी महाराज थे। और महाराज जब थे तो उन्होंने एक जगह पे निर्देश किया था कि मैं यहाँ रहने वाला हूँ। उन्होंने तभी 2 साल पहले ही निर्देश किया था कि मेरी समाधि होगी, मैं समाधि लेने वाला हूँ। कब वो नहीं कहा था, लेकिन कहाँ मेरी समाधि का मंदिर होगा या मेरी समाधि होगी, वो जगह उन्होंने पहले ही निर्देशित करके अपने भक्तों को बताई थी। जैसे श्री कृष्ण के साथ 5 पांडव थे, वैसे महाराज के साथ 5 उनके सच्शिष्य थे। उसमें से एक भास्कर पाटिल था, कुकाजी पाटिल थे, उनको हरि पाटिल थे, उनको उन्होंने वो जगह बताई थी। और आगे जब संस्थान की स्थापना हुई तब उन्होंने उसी जगह को मध्य लाने के लिए बहुत प्रयत्न किया। तो उनको जो सरकार से जो जगह मिली थी वो थोड़ी कम पड़ रही थी, तो उन्होंने 11 गुंठे कहते हैं उसको भी, उसका मुझे हिंदी या इंग्लिश में पता नहीं कितनी जगह थी, उतनी जगह उन्होंने ज़्यादा ली, पर आगे जाके उनको वो जगह मिल गई। ऐसे वहाँ पे संस्था की स्थापना हुई। इतने सालों से आज तक वो संस्था उसी तरह चल रही है और उसमें अधिक वो समाज उपयोगी चीज़ें भी कर रहे हैं। श्री गजानन विजय ग्रंथ के सारे कॉपीराइट जैसे कहते हैं वो वहाँ पे ही है। वहाँ पे वो खरीदने के लिए भी मिलता है, वहाँ रखे हुए हैं, वहाँ से लोग वहीं पे अगर पारायण करना है तो पढ़ भी सकते हैं। इसके अलावा एक मेडिकल कैंप भी संस्था की तरफ से चलाया जाता है, नेत्र शिविर आयोजित किया जाता है। मतिमंद बच्चों के लिए या अपंग बच्चों के लिए भी पुनर्वसन केंद्र संस्था चलाती है। इसके अलावा एक अभियांत्रिकी यानी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज है शेगांव में, वो भी संस्था पूरी तरह से चलाती है कि ये मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन शेगांव का श्री गजानन महाराज संस्था का एक इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज है। एक मतिमंद विद्यालय है। उसके साथ ही जैसे हम पहले कह रहे थे कि हमें कोई बंधन नहीं चाहिए, कोई भी तुम्हारे सद्गुरु हो लेकिन सब आगे एक ही जगह जाने वाले हैं। उस तरह से वारकरी शिक्षण संस्था भी संस्था की तरफ से चलाई जाती है। वारकरी यानी पंढरपुर में जो वारी करने वाले होते हैं उनको वारकरी कहते हैं, लेकिन वो वारकरी महाविद्यालय में या वारकरी शिक्षण संस्था में सब बच्चों को आध्यात्मिक क्षेत्र के बारे में भी सिखाया जाता है। उसके अलावा जो उनके रोज़गार के लिए उनको लगेगा उस तरह की चीज़ें भी सिखाई जाती है, जैसे सिलाई मशीन हो, शिवण काम हो, सुतार काम हो, जो वो बच्चे करने चाहें।
तो जॉब के लिए
जी, उनको श्रीमद् भगवत गीता, ज्ञानेश्वरी, श्रीमद् भागवत, इस तरह के सब या धार्मिक सब सिखाया जाता है। इसके अलावा भजन, संगीत, पखवाज, संस्कृत भाषा ये भी सिखाई जाती है। संस्था में काफ़ी तरह के उत्सव होते हैं। वो उस तरह के कुछ उत्सव हम यहाँ बेरिया के मंदिर में भी करने की कोशिश करते हैं। राम नवमी का या राम जन्मोत्सव का उत्सव होता है। वहाँ बहुत नए नरम में रोशनाई की जाती है। महाराज की पालखी, गजर, वो पालखी में अश्व होते हैं, रथ होता है। पहले तो हाथी पे भी होती थी वो रथ यात्रा। टाड़करी होते हैं जो टाड़ बजाते हैं, दिंड्या, टाड़, ये सब में महाराज की पालखी निकलती है। उसके अलावा प्रकट दिन उत्सव होता है। निर्वाण दिन जब था श्री गजानन महाराज का, वो ऋषि पंचमी का उत्सव होता है। गुरु पूर्णिमा का उत्सव होता है। वहाँ कायम स्वरूप से भजन, कीर्तन, आख्यान ये तो चलते ही रहते हैं। शाम के समय में भी हरिपाठ होता है। इस तरह के काफ़ी उत्सव संस्था के द्वारा किए जाते हैं। उनके प्रकाशन विभाग में काफ़ी ग्रंथ हैं। उसमें से सबसे महत्वपूर्ण ग्रंथ तो यही है, श्री गजानन विजय। और ना नफ़ा ना तोटा, इस तरह से, यानी उससे उनको कोई मॉनेटरी गेन नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन जो कॉस्ट तो वो खरीद सकते हैं हम, लेकिन जो प्रिंटिंग कॉस्ट है, इस तरह के जो खर्चे हैं वो निकल जाए, इतना कोशिश रहती है। वहाँ वाचनालय है और भक्त निवास है। मैंने जो बोला था, मैं बचपन में जब जाती थी तब पहले एक भक्त निवास था, 2 हुए, 3 हुए, 5 भक्त निवास हुए जो मंदिर से करीब है, वहाँ चल के जा सकते हैं। लेकिन जैसे आवक बढ़ती गई भक्तों की और ज़्यादा ज़रूरत महसूस हुई, तो और बड़े बड़े भक्त निवास थोड़े अंतर पे है, जहाँ जिसे आनंद सागर एरिया कहते हैं, वहाँ 2 और बहुत ही बड़े भक्त निवास तैयार किए हैं। वहाँ से पैदल नहीं आ सकते, लेकिन संस्था की तरफ से बस सेवा है। वो उस ट्रेन स्टेशन से भी, अगर किसी को ट्रेन से जाना है नागपुर की तरफ से या मुंबई की तरफ से, तो स्टेशन से भी ये मुफ्त निःशुल्क बस सेवा महाराज के मंदिर तक जाती है। वो जो दूसरे जो बड़े वाले हैं वहाँ पे तो उन्होंने बहुत अत्याधुनिक सेवाएं भी उपलब्ध कराई है, ताकि छोटे बच्चे, बड़े बूढ़े, कोई भी जाओ तो वहाँ उनकी सोए हो सके। पानी वहाँ पे, जैसे पहले मनीष जी ने कहा था, सब सिर्फ सेवेकरी होते हैं। वो बिल्कुल सादा पोशाक, सफ़ेद वस्त्रों में होते हैं, टोपी पहनी होती है, और वो बोलते कुछ नहीं, माउली माउली। और उनके पास एक दंडी होती है जिस पर एक फलक होता है, उस पर शांतता राखा के ऐसे लिखा। वो ज़्यादा बोलते नहीं, उतना ही दिखाते अगर कोई बात कर रहे हों। और संस्था में अगर या मंदिर के आवार में अगर आप जाएंगे तो वहाँ कहीं पे भी किसी भी तरह की कोई भी एक छोटा सा कागज़ का कपड़ा भी नहीं रहता है, वो भी वो उठा लेते हैं। कंटिन्यूसली सेवेकरी रहते हैं, जो स्वच्छता करते रहते हैं या लोगों को मार्ग दिखाते रहते हैं, या किसी को कोई सवाल है तो उनका उसके लिए भी कक्षा है। अगर अभी कोई जाएगा तो वहाँ पे पार्किंग की जो व्यवस्था है वो तो आई मीन अमेरिका से भी अच्छी पार्किंग की व्यवस्था है, ऐसे मैं कहूँगी। वहाँ पे बोर्ड्स है, कितने पार्किंग स्लॉट्स अवेलेबल है वो दिखता है। आई मीन हम लोग इस जब
एयरपोर्ट की
हाँ
तरह इतनी स्पेस है, नेक्स्ट लेवल पे नहीं जाओ, यहाँ पे इतना ही पार्क हो सकेगा।
या और भक्तों को कैसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सुविधा हो, इसका संस्था बहुत ख्याल रखती है। इसके लिए अलग अलग चीज़ें ऐड कर रहे हैं उसको और आकर्षित हो, इसके लिए कि लोग महाराज से कनेक्ट हो, इसके लिए आकर्षित करें। पार्किंग की सोए, क्योंकि आजकल बहुत समृद्धि महामार्ग भी बना है, तो बहुत से लोग अब इंडिया में भी, भारत में भी लोग ड्राइव करके जाना प्रेफर करते हैं, तो पार्किंग की तो ज़रूरत है। समृद्धि महामार्ग से शेगांव या अकोला थोड़े अंतर पे है, पर समृद्धि से आजकल बहुत लोग जाते हैं। ट्रैवल का टाइम भी बहुत कम हो गया है। ट्रेन से जाना हो तो नागपुर की तरफ से महाराष्ट्र एक्सप्रेस जो पुणे में जाती है, पुणे की तरफ जाती है, उससे भी लोग जा सकते हैं। गीतांजलि एक्सप्रेस, काफ़ी
बहुत ऑप्शंस
ट्रेन
है।
है, तो ट्रेन से जा सकते हैं, बस से जा सकते हैं, खुद के गाड़ी से जा सकते हैं। लेकिन दर्शन के लिए ज़रूर जा सकते हैं, गाड़ी से गए तो सुंदर पार्किंग की व्यवस्था है। भक्त निवास के लिए प्री बुकिंग भी होता है, लेकिन वहाँ जाके भी आप बुकिंग कर सकते हैं। यूजुअली फैमिलीज़ को देते हैं, अकेले अकेले एक अगर आदमी आ जाए तो वो नहीं देते हैं, क्योंकि उससे दुरुपयोग हो सकता है। तो सब तरह की सेफ्टी की भी बहुत संस्था में देखी जाती है, सबकी सेफ्टी। पानी भी पहला आरओ का पानी मैंने वहीं देखा है, मैं एटलीस्ट मैंने वहाँ पे हर जगह कोई भी नल से आप पानी लो वो पीने के लायक है। वो आरओ से वो उन्होंने फ़िल्टर किया होता है, लेकिन हम सब जानते हैं कि आरओ से पानी जो आधा से ज़्यादा वेस्ट भी होता है, लेकिन वो कलेक्ट करते वो सब झाड़ों को पानी देना, उसके लिए उसका उपयोग करते हैं। अन्नम ब्रह्मेति अगर महाराज सिखा रहे तो पानी भी वेस्ट नहीं करेंगे, नहीं करना चाहिए। तो संस्था उस चीज़ की भी ख्याल रखती है। अन्नदान वहाँ पे अहोरात्र होते रहता है। पहले दोपहर में 1 से 3 तक प्रसादालय खुला होता था, लेकिन अब पिछले कुछ सालों से सुबह 9 से शाम के 9 बजे तक आप कभी भी जाओ तो भी आपको महाप्रसाद का लाभ मिल सकता है। प्रसादालय तो आपको ज़रूर जाके देखना चाहिए, इतना बड़ा प्रसादालय भी बनाया है उन्होंने। अनेक फ्लोर्स हैं वहाँ पे। सीनियर सिटीजन्स के लिए स्पेशल व्यवस्था होती है, उनके लिए पहले भोजन का व्यवस्था की जाती है, उनको सारी बाकी की गर्दी में खड़े नहीं रहना पड़ता है। सो स्वयं सेवक लोग आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं अगर कोई और वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ भी है कि अगर आप सीनियर सिटीज़न हैं या कोई और आपको विशेष सहायता की ज़रूरत है तो आपके लिए अलग लाइन होती है। उसी का अनुकरण करने की कोशिश अभी हम यहाँ अपने मंदिर में भी करते हैं। सीनियर सिटीजन्स या प्रेग्नेंट लेडीज़ के लिए अलग दर्शन मार्ग और प्रसाद की व्यवस्था की जाती है, क्योंकि उनको उस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है और उसका विशेष ख्याल रखा जाता है। अभिषेक या किसी को देणगी देनी है तो उसके लिए भी अलग कक्षा है। आप वहाँ पे अभिषेक के लिए, अन्नदान के लिए देणगी दे सकते हैं। और सतपात्री दान तो हिंदू धर्म में उसका बहुत ही महात्म्य है। हरि धर्म में होगा, लेकिन दान करने से आपके भी लक्ष्मी की
वृद्धि हो सकती है
या शांति होती है। तो अभिषेक कक्ष भी है और बाकी उनका ऑफिस भी है। अगर आपको और कुछ सवाल हो या कुछ माहिती और चाहिए तो ऑफिस भी है, वहाँ पे भी आप किसी से भी संपर्क कर सकते हैं। संस्था का मेन शाखा तो शेगांव में ही है, लेकिन श्री क्षेत्र पंढरपुर में भी श्री गजानन महाराज संस्था की एक शाखा है। आळंदी में एक शाखा है जहाँ संत ज्ञानेश्वर महाराज की समाधि है। श्री क्षेत्र त्र्यंबकेश्वर में है एक, और श्री क्षेत्र कपिलधारा शाखा है। श्री क्षेत्र ओंकारेश्वर की एक शाखा भी है। और गिरडा कहाँ है? अजिंठा पर्वत के घनदाट वनराई में ये
औरंगाबाद के पास।
इतनी सारी शाखाएं महाराज के संस्था की है। इसके अलावा एक प्रकल्प किया था, आनंद सागर नाम का, बहुत भव्य दिव्य जगह बनाई थी शेगांव से बहुत ही नज़दीक। किसी कारण से वो अब बंद हुई थी, वो फिर शुरू हुई या नहीं इसकी मैं मुझे जानकारी नहीं है। लेकिन वहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा विवेकानंद स्मारक बनाया है, वहाँ पे आप जाके ध्यान कर सकते हैं, ध्यान मंदिर बनाया हुआ है। इसके अलावा मंदिर के आसपास और मंदिर के अंदर भी छोटे छोटे कक्ष है, जहाँ पे अगर आपको कोई नाश्ता करना है, चाय पीनी है, तो वो भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन महाप्रसाद तो निःशुल्क है। सारे जो भक्त निवास है वहाँ पे भी इसकी सोय है। खाने पीने के छोटे कैंटीन जैसे है, वहाँ पे भी जाके आप अगर बहुत ऑड समय पे पहुँचे या ट्रेन लेट हो गई तो फिर भी वहाँ पे व्यवस्था हो सकती है।
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा। आपने इतनी सुंदर तरह से इतनी सारी माहिती दी है कि किसी को अगर गजानन महाराज के दर्शन करने हैं तो बहुत ही आसान हो जाएगा। और क्योंकि गुरुदेव की ये लाइव शिविर होने वाली है शेगांव में, हमारे कई भक्त जाएंगे वहाँ पे। आपकी माहिती से गजानन महाराज के मंदिर में, समाधि मंदिर में उनको दर्शन करने के लिए कैसे जाना है, कौन सी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध है, इन सब बातों का उन्हें पता चल रहा है। तो इसके लिए मैं आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि ये माहिती हमारे साधकों के लिए भी, और जो हमारे दर्शक हैं कहीं से भी हो, अगर आप शेगांव जाना चाहते हैं, गजानन महाराज के मंदिर का दर्शन करना चाहते हैं, ये आपके लिए उपयोगी ही होगी। कुछ स्लाइड्स हमने शेयर की है, उसमें भी कहाँ पे ये स्थान है, कौन सी वेबसाइट है गजानन महाराज के ओरिजिनल संस्थान की, वो सब भी आपको माहिती मिल रही है, उसका उपयोग कीजिए। और हम चाहते हैं गजानन महाराज का आशीर्वाद आपको और आपके परिवार को मिले। यह कार्यक्रम के द्वारा जो कुछ भी माहिती हमें मिल रही है, ये सिर्फ प्रसाद है, इसमें न खांडेकर परिवार का या न सोल सत्संग का कोई स्वार्थ है। हम यही चाहते हैं गुरु चेतना का प्रसाद सबको मिले, और हम सब मिलकर एक परिवार की तरह रहें, जो सब गुरुओं ने हमें सिखाया है कि हम सब एक परिवार की तरह रहे, गुरु तत्व एक है, उस भाव से रहे।
मेरी भी सबको यही शुभकामना है कि एकदा तरी करावे गजाननाचे दर्शन। तो अगर जब आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, ज़रूर शेगांव के दर्शन के लिए जाइए। जो ऑनलाइन सुन रहे हैं या जो कॉल पे है, सबके लिए ये मेरी विनंती है। और जो यूएस में हैं वो तो सैन होजे के मंदिर में कभी भी आ सकते हैं दर्शन के लिए।
थैंक यू
Yeah,
वेरी मच
before
फॉर
we
दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन।
conclude, I think I wanted to add few more things, which
प्लीज प्लीज।
I don't think we even think about it when we take darshan at such a divine place. हम लोग सोचते हैं कि पार्किंग मिल गई, मैंने प्रसाद ले लिया, दर्शन ले लिया, मैंने डोनेशन दे दिया. But there are hundreds and thousands of things which are going in the background from management perspective. So if we leave the spiritual side aside and only think this as a huge corporation of thousands of people visiting Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan, and everybody goes back with happiness. So if you see, there are hundreds of departments that are running. Lots of donation is given to Shegaon Samsthan every day. So there are devotees, sevikaries working constantly, accepting donations, consolidating the accounts, making sure that everybody gets a receipt, like a printed receipt of the donation. Shri Gajanan Maharaj also makes sure that they return some percentage of the donation to you in terms of either a shirt piece or a pant piece or a sari, or if even if you give like 11 rupees, they will give you like a bundi ladu.
क्या बात
So if lakho bhakta are visiting Shega, there are hundreds of sevikaris devoted to making the laddus, packing them, making sure that they are reaching the devotees on time. Secondly, money is the most important thing, right? In any organization. If we are accepting donations, managing the money, making sure that all the devotees get the proper, say, tax information, receipts, consolidation. So Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan is extremely, I would say, meticulous and particular about all these financial activities. Their accounts are absolutely well maintained, managed, consolidated. Without that, they don't even close the day's transactions unless the accounts are managed and settled. Pallavi told about Bhaktaniwas temple and temples all around Maharashtra. So this does not happen just like that, right?
Yes.
So you have to have construction, materials, engineers, workers, and all those things. So all these things are also managed by Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan.
Great.
So whatever material or help is needed, engineers and karagir, so those are all managed by Shri Gajanan Maharaj Samsthan. She talked about reverse osmosis and water. So if thousands and lakhs of devotees are coming to take darshan of Sri Maharaj, so making arrangement of pure potable water for all those devotees is a very huge challenge. And I'm happy to tell that Sri Gajanan Maharaj has a self-sufficient water supply system.
Yeah.
So it is just not spirituality when we say this is all about the more trouble that we give to our deha is we reach spirituality. It is not like that. So Shegaon Samsthan tries to take care of every devotee that visits and takes darshan of Sri Maharaj. If you go to Bhakta Nivas, depending upon your financial capacity, you can book an air-conditioned room, non-air-conditioned room, a dormitory, right from like say 100 rupees or maybe I don't know what are the current rates to almost like 1000, 2000 rupees.
Yeah.
All the Bhakta Nivases are extremely clean, extremely neat. Not even the rooms, but even the premises are very well cleaned, maintained. There is a provision of breakfast, tea, and other things in addition to Mahaprasad. So there is also a separate arrangement for the drivers or the sarathi who take us to Shegaon.
Acha.
Most of the time I have seen that the sarathis that take us to such places being given a very kind of low grade treatment that okay, this is just a driver, he will manage his own. But Shegaon Samsthan also takes care of people who drive you to Shegaon. So it is, I would say, an overall perfect example of a huge management organization.
The volunteers too. I think there's a list of people, and the list is growing who want to volunteer there. There are not as many opportunities as the applicants actually. They also do not. This is what I had heard. Do not pay the volunteers because it's again called Swayam Seva, but for the duration they are going to provide their service to the samstha. Their families get the dhanya, all the raw materials like rice and gehu and everything for the entire duration this person is going to be at the temple. So they take care of the family. If they don't give monetary
program.
money.
It's a program,
Yeah,
basically.
they take care of the families of all these volunteers. There are female volunteers in the prasadalaya mainly. They also serve. They will first give you a little amount of food, and then if you want more, they come and serve you more. There is they have a perfect place to keep all the used utensils. There's no disposable stuff. It's all made of steel, and they have a special system for washing them. Everything is very clean, even to wash your hands and everything. They have places in on every floor, and if there is any water spillage, somebody's going to come and clean it right away. They highly encourage anybody to not waste food, and most of the times the bhaktas do do follow that. That's why they serve little and then they'll come and give more if you want more. But annam brahmeti, or no wastage of food, no wastage of any resources, is meticulously followed at this sanstha.
This is amazing thing to learn about an organization that is taking care of thousands of people visiting every day at one place. This sounds like miracle to the people when they go from Western world in a country like India,
Yeah.
because many times people make joke that a Britisher came to India and he looked millions of people traveling in the train, and he says that how can this be possible? Only God must be taking care of this country, otherwise this cannot be managed like this. And
Yeah.
here I'm saying that जी हाँ, सिर्फ परमात्मा ही हमारी हमारे देश को, हमारे मंदिरों को, हमारी संस्थाओं को मैनेज कर रहे हैं. Otherwise, people who are trying to use their intellect and they are trying to manage it with monetary gain and objective, they are failing and they need to learn. In fact, हमारे गुरुदेव जब अपने परिवार के साथ रिसेंटली कुछ साल पहले वहाँ पे गए थे, तो उन्होंने सभी के लिए एक मैसेज बनाकर भेजा कि मैं अपने परिवार के साथ शेगांव गया था, और उस जगह की व्यवस्था देखकर मुझे लगा कि इट इज़ वन ऑफ द बेस्ट organization or temple that I have seen, simply because of the cleanliness and volunteers who are doing their seva in such a way that everything, as you are saying, is very clean, and the food and everything people feel hygienic. Now, after knowing the story of Gajanan Maharaj first प्राकट्य, आप देखिए कि वो बाज पत्रालय में से खा रहे थे जो जूठा था दूसरे लोगों का. He ate what other people have left for him, and he is giving us what you don't like, and you want to have only pure, clean, hygienic food. That is what you are getting it. ये गुरु का सद्गुण है कि वह खुद माँ की तरह दुख ले लेता है, कष्ट ले लेता है, जो आपको नहीं पसंद है वह ले लेता है, लेकिन हमें वह देता है जो हमें पसंद है. ओके, तो we have to believe and respect when we go to such places, that we will also try to keep silence first thing, to keep the energy of that place, to keep this place clean, and because everything takes money, we will donate also with the open heart and make sure that we are becoming part of it as a family, because they took care of us as their family. ऐसी जगह पे जाए तो गुरु की चेतना का, गुरु की व्यवस्था का हमें ख्याल रखना चाहिए, और उसमें सहभागी सिर्फ खाने के लिए या रहने के लिए नहीं, सहभागी उस सेवा में भी डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली अपनी तरह से बनना चाहिए. आपको सेवा का तो मौका नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि देर आर पीपल वेटिंग फॉर वॉलंटियरशिप, लेकिन आप उसमें अगर सहभागी बन रहे हो तो वॉलंटरी डोनेशन तो कर ही सकते हो. उस जगह पे जाके सेवा ले रहे हो तो सेवा इनडायरेक्टली इस तरह से कर सकते हो. लेकिन सबसे बड़ी चीज़, जैसे मनीष जी ने समझाया, Guru came on this earth for only our spiritual progress, to liberate us, to give us that Atma Gyan, self realization, that many people cannot just read in the book or watch such program and get it. So remember that we are getting something without realizing. एक बच्ची जिसका नाम पल्लवी जी था, वह बालपन में ऐसे मंदिर के आजू बाजू, समाधि के आजू बाजू दौड़ती थी, घूमती थी, कई बार फेरे लगाती थी। आज उसको समझ में आ रहा है कि हमारे द्वारा क्या हो गया और किस तरह की चेतना का हमारे शरीर में, हमारे चित्त में, हमारे मन में, हमारे हृदय में प्रसाद उतर गया। आज वह प्रसाद आपको और हमें मिल रहा है उनकी कहानी से। गजानन महाराज के गुण कितने भी हम गाए, कम पड़ेगा। समुंदर की स्याही करूं, कलम करूं वनराय, धरती का कागज करूं, तो भी गुरु के गुण न लिखियो जाए, ऐसी बात है। तो यह कहानी खत्म नहीं होने वाली है, कल फिर से हम आगे बढ़ाने वाले हैं। अगर मैं कुछ पूछना भूल गया, अगर कुछ रह जाता है, तो कल हमें ज़रूर बता देना। और आज के लिए हम यहाँ पर समाप्त करते हैं।
We'll conclude
धन्यवाद
the slope.
खांडेकर फैमिली, राम, पल्लवी जी और मनीष जी। हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा सोल सत्संग, आपके इस प्यार भरे गुरु की कथा का, महिमा का गान और सुनकर हमें लग रहा है कि हम खुद गजानन महाराज के भक्त हैं। हमें लग रहा है कि हम खुद शेगांव पहुंच गए हैं, और हमें लग रहा है कि गजानन महाराज की कथा जो दासगनु महाराज ने विजय ग्रंथ में लिखी थी, वो हमारे लिए ही लिखी थी, ऐसे लग रहा है। सो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। फिर मिलेंगे कल हम लोग।
We can conclude with the last shloka.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, प्लीज।
सदा सर्वदा योग तुझा घडावा, तुझे कारणी देह माझा पडावा, उपेक्षू नको गुणवंता अनंता, रघुनायका मागणे हेची आता। श्री समर्थ सद्गुरु श्री गजानन महाराज की जय। जय गजानन।
जय गजानन।
So, as we conclude today's Upasana, we offer our heartfelt gratitude to Khandekar family. Through today's program, we spiritually journey to Shegaon Temple, experience the divine living presence of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. We also remembered Shri Ganu Maharaj and learned about the priceless Shri Gajanan Vijay Grantha that continues to guide devotees on the path of devotion and faith even in today's time. On behalf of Soul Satsang team, we extend our sincere thanks to the Khandekar family for offering your devotion so beautifully. Thank you, Ram, for your beautiful bhajans, Upanishadic mantras, and sharing inspiring learnings. Pallavi for sharing your heartfelt connections with Shri Maharaj and taking us to Shegaon temple, taking us to the temple, and Manish thoroughly guiding us through the history and spiritual meaning of today's Upasana and explaining us about Shri Maharaj in very much depth. We warmly invite everyone to join us again tomorrow as we continue this sacred journey with the Khandekar family at 6:30 p.m. India time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and 6 a.m. Pacific time, and learn more of the Upasanas. If you like to connect with us, please reach out through the YouTube chat or visit the Soul Satsang website at www.soulsatsang.com and use the Contact Us section. You may also write us at info@soulsatsang.com, and we would see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jai Gajanan.